All right, guys, welcome back to the Imaxit YouTube channel. I'm your host, JD. If you're new, please do smash that like button, share, and definitely subscribe. If you're a member of the channel, massive respect. And how to become a member, please do click the join button. YouTube will help you along the way. So as you saw by the title, we're going to be discussing Jamaica's U20s, a few of the other guys them coming in, due to a few potential guys as well, because yesterday I've covered a video talking about who can possibly replace Demarai and also Shamar Nicholson. I will go deeper into that due to the fact that we never had the proper internet, so I'm back in house so we can break down that. But what we have on the scale today, we have to talk about what Janual had said, and if he lives up to that, even though we know that this is a selection based on what is at hand at this point. What I meant by that, due to the fact that it's a non-FIFA window, certain players can't leave, and when you're talented at age 18, you are playing in professional settings, so it's going to be hard for you to get certain players. All right, so we are not going to judge him that harsh, but still look at the players that we do have on the list. So I have written down some of the guys them that maybe people would have problems finding. Yes, I've written down those. Look at them and assess them. So I wanted to jump pack everything, and we have a good show. After 30-40 minutes, when I'm done with all the assessing, we will bring on the panels. All right, that's whoever is available at the time. So once you do come in, let me know which topic you're talking on in the comment section. I will definitely answer to you whenever I do get the time. All right, so let me just big up everyone in the house from early. We have our brother Omar Fowling in the building, and we have our brother Chris Smith. All right, so we have Ghost Future check-in, Float Management. Pastor is already here, so we don't have any time. Kevin is here, so we know that we're going to get information on the Trinidad team and stuff. All right, Triple E, Young Cryptic, and then we have our brother Jason Ferran in the building with Mr. Man from Portland. Massive respect. So this is what we got yesterday. The U20s Reggae Boyz will depart the island. That should have departed the island yesterday afternoon. So that should be confirmed maybe when I'm done with this video, or throughout this video I will get confirmation on that. All right, yes, so let me continue. For Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica will play 3 matches on their camp in the Eastern Caribbean. Jamaica will play Trinidad and Tobago U20 team on January 25th, so you can mark down these things. All right, on February 1st. So those are the 2 games for them. Jamaica will play a TNT Pro League club on January the 28th. Venues and times of the games will be revealed by the TNT FA later today. So if you had gotten that, let me know. For the next stream, I will try and get as much information as the time, so you guys can look out for it somewhere. So they have left, or they should have left yesterday. And they are going to have 3 games, 2 with the U20s team and 1 with a pro team. All right, so that is the actual information at hand. All right, the head-to-head, based on what they have written here, Jamaica and the recent head-to-head is 3 games, 2015, 2007 twice. All right, and Jamaica 1-1, Trinidad 1-1, and 1 drew. So it's a tight result between both parties. All right, yes. So let me move on into the players that we do have. So we have Demarai McCallum, and we have Siobhan Peart in the building. Brian Mighty, love how all of you guys are here from early, so we know that, because I know that you guys know a lot of these players, so I can just assess them from over here, and you guys can give me maybe hands-on information as to what you know about them. All right, Brian Mighty said JFF at it again. Man, them can't even spell the players them name correct or find their position. Well, now that's why we do our job, Brian Mighty, to try make people know what position they do play and what is their strengths. So maybe even the coach might miss it based on if they have listed the thing. And Siobhan, Lord God, Siobhan, you had came on yesterday and said you are the one that printed most of these things. So be careful, Siobhan, because you have to take the beating when it comes James, the opposite way as well, you know, my brother Chevan. All right. And then we have Jason Guna in the building. Massive respect. El Padrino. Thanks for being here. All right. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, Chevan. You have to make sure you clear that. We will give you the time to come and clear that whenever we finish off everything. All right. Yes. Alex, up. Big up yourself. And then our brother Joseph Brown, massive respect, big boss. All right, so let me just go through the players that we do have right here. So let me flip over the screen so you can get it. All right, so we have the U20 graphic. I don't know who made it. All right, yes. All right, so goalkeeper Joshua Grant, Tawayne Lynch, Dijon Davis. So those are the goalkeepers. All right, I'm gonna just read through it and then we're gonna start breaking it down. All right, yes. Defenders: Michael Forb, Ahir Dixon, Malachi Molina, Ronaldo Barrett, Malachi Grant, Kayani Jackson, Omari Henry. All right. Then in the attacking department, no, I'm not going to say attackers. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to just name the players. Damarian Harris, Dustin Cohen, Tyreek Scott, Brian Burkett, and Tyrese Gowe. All right. So those are the individuals listed. We're going to try and break them down now. All right. Yes. All right. Jamaica progressed a lot in football over the past few years. Also, since you guys have a lot of foreign-born players to use, I'm not sure we TNT have any good players. All right. Thank you very much, Tajay, 777 for your honesty, and hope Jamaicans, local-born Jamaicans, taking that to see that these guys really put the fear in other countries. You know, obviously they have always showed a little stigma to say that, oh, because we have so much players to pick from, if we had our true team from Jamaica, we couldn't beat Trinidad and Tobago. That might be true, but who cares? Because you guys have people overseas as well. I'm not talking about Tajeno. I'm just talking about the guys that likes to look war and say that we have we are just getting a lot of imports. That's why we are so big. You understand me? Are so brave. You know, I am just telling them, well, you have kids overseas as well. So just get them to come and play for you. You understand me? Yes. So that's what we have to say when it's related to people like from other countries throwing that shade. All right, because everyone doing it, America doing it, United States, America doing it, Mexico doing it, Canada doing it, from our region, and those are the three best. So who are us to say that we are not going to do it? I think Trinidad just can't do it to the level of Jamaica, and it's hurting some of the people. All right. The youth name Tyreek Scott. You know. Okay, no problem. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to just run through up a few of the players them. So we have right here one of our key players them that we're looking at. Malachi Grant, he's one of the ones that I had on the list that I think he will bolster the squad heavily. As you saw, his main position that they have listed, left back. I do believe that he's progressing to play more positions. So look out for him. Jamaica, United States citizen. All right. Yes. Currently, they said he's at the Barca Resident Academy. All right. So look out for him. All right. Yes. So that's the first one I had right here. The one that I look at, it was Nikai Gale, a midfield from Portmore United. You have to look out for him. Denzel McKenzie from Phoenix. Kyron Harris. No, Arsley Mackay. They said he's coming in from Millwall. That's the one that I found. Let me know if it's the exact one. Persons inside the chat, because I know people are always researching. Yes, so that's the time for people to correct me if I'm wrong there. Kyron Arsley Mackay. Based on my research, it's only one from Millwall I saw, and they listed him as a centre back here on this, but he would be a centre back / CDM as well, based on what I've seen. So hopefully it's the same player I am looking at. Romarian Thomas and Kobe. Yes, man. I know, but I'm going to get to it, Danica. Just hold on. I'm just breaking down my the players them that I'm looking out for, all right, and the overseas players them that I can get back to John Wall side, all right, yes. So Kobe, let me put Kobe on it because Kobe is a fan favorite for majority of the Jamaican people, all right. It's the same player from Millwall. Okay, well he's a player that has a lot of abilities, all right. So and I think he actually plays CDM good enough. You know, I'm not sure if he's so much of the centre back. I think he's both, to be honest. All right, yes. So I don't know how they evaluated that player. All right, yes. So this is the list that we have right here, guys, and I have went through a few of them. The Michael Forbes, Malachi Molina, Malachi Grant, Keani Jackson, Omari Henry. All right, Ronaldo Barrett, you guys know him. I hear Dixon, you guys know him. All right, Dustin Cohen, he's getting popular as well. Brian Burkett, he's popular already. And Tyrese Goey, I heard about him the other day and I started to research him. So based on what I saw, I don't think the squad is that bad. Let me know who you think missed out on the squad. For you guys, who you think missed out on this current roster with the situation at hand, being that we don't have a FIFA window. So, for instance, if this kid can play, which is the one that we talked about, Bailey Cadamarteri, and obviously I think he would make the national team based on what I saw from him. All right, very strong, powerful player. Education as a striker is very good. It's up there. His positioning is very good. He's playing against big men in the championship and looking solid. He has the ability to play for Jamaica. I've done an X research again, and everything that's coming back says yes. And we heard people saying that they are trying to get him. If they could get him, this would be a actual 18-year-old that is educated on a striker position. So if he's the one that they're trying to target, I would love to see him come in. And this would be a definite one to grow in because he would be 18 and he's already at the peak of football, you know. So that would be good for you to get him in. You know, if this is the same player, which I think it is the same player. All right. So that's one of the players that I actually talked on yesterday. But the signal was very bad where I was and the phone that I was actually using because I changed the phone, guys. I changed the phone. So I have 3 phones working with because I had to keep my older phone with some of the settings. So if you text me and you realize that I'm struggling, my Twitter is locked down. One of my Instagram is locked down because I've changed the thing and then I can't remember the password. So I'm working on getting them up to speed. So that's why I'm pretty much slowed down. All right. Yeah. So he's one of them that I looked at and I said, damn, this showed me that we are talking madness to say that we might run out of talent in the diaspora. This is madness because this is even getting better. I don't think he's going to get called for the England team. Maybe not this year or so for the younger version. I don't think they're going to keep on calling him. So it's a good one to go in for. You know, right before that moment, before he blows up. Because I think if he gets 1 or 2 goals, 2 more goals, he's going to be called up because his skill set. You can't you can't teach it. You teach it to that extent, you know. You have to grow into it, and the fact that he has it already, that is nice. All right. All right. So what I'm going to do, so Brian Mighty, Chevron, I will drop the link so you guys can come in and give your take. All right. Yes. But I still have a few things that I wanted to talk on extra, but I will just give it for now. Guys, please do hit the like button as soon as you come in. Get us to 200 likes before the stream finishes. We're trying to go to 2 hours max. So hopefully you guys can actually support it, all right? Because we try our best to bring the actual information to you guys. So I don't know what else to tell you, all right? Right, let me get this link, run up. All right, so this is the link. Let me pin it right here. On transfer market, it says he's Jamaican. Yes, it says he's Jamaican. He's eligible for Jamaica. Because yesterday you asked if it says he was born in Jamaica. No, he's not born in Jamaica. You know, he's born overseas. Okay, no problem, no problem. I'm just putting it and I'm pinning it. All right. So say what you're saying in the chat, and if Brian Mighty wants to come on, the link is right there. I will try and set up this one so it works. All right. And Pastor, the link is right there, so you can come on whenever you want. All right. All right. So this should be okay now for the discard. That's good. All right. So let me go back to the show at this point. Let me see how much comments I've missed. Right. Shavan says Cohen has been playing in the JPL since he was 14. Wow, that's nice. That's nice. Only question I've had, I'd have is Romain Blake, but it's just a training camp, so let's see. Yes, that's why I've said people that has the possibility to break through different locations and you don't see them on the list, it's hard for you to jump to beat the coach for that, because more likely the other team, the team that they're playing for might just see it as, for instance, to say if I have an injury to my players, maybe you would make the step up instant. You understand me? So they would want you to stay in your preseason to try and learn as much. So I could see where people wouldn't let go of certain players at this point. Hence why even this player, if we are going to get this player, he wouldn't come into these trial things. For what reason? You understand me? Because obviously he would be busy doing his thing at his club at this present moment, so it wouldn't have you have enough record. You don't need to see him play against Trinidad. Obviously, you would have loved to get him. That is true. So you could actually fit in everything. But at the same time, you have to understand that they are professionals and they are doing their jobs. All right? Yes. JD, his club may not release him unless yes, that's what I've said. That's what I've said. Kirai Anderson is eligible. I don't know. I don't know. All right? I don't know. I don't know. I would have to check that, my brother. All right? Yes. Because I never looked at him. I was just going off the list that they have listed. All right? Yes. Big of yourself, Wayne Evans. Massive respect. Right, all right. Then we have Sherman Scott. Big up yourself. Thanks for being here. Yes. No, it's not an insult. As I told you, a lot of people that comes on the channel, they are not the ones that hit the like button first. We have our crew, so that's why we have to always share the link so our crew turn up. All right? Yes. But we have no problem because they still give us the view. All right? They still give us the views. All right? Yes. Right. So Young Cryptid said, I think we should be seeing Blake and Xander when the official squad for qualifiers. So what Xander doing for him to be in the same ilk as Blake? What, educate me on him? Educate me on him, because I am lost, because I thought that I saw that same person playing football the last time. So I don't know. But I don't know how would you put it. I don't think he's playing the same level of football that warrants him to escape one call up like this to make the main team. I think he would have to play for his spot based on what I've seen. I think he would have to play for his spot. That's what I saw. Too old, right? So that's what people says. Richie Robinson says, what about Whisper? I don't know much about the kid, and I only can evaluate people that plays football. All right. So even if you're looking at the smallest persons here, I still have to look at the ones that's playing football. So I only can give information on that. I think he's eligible. I know he's eligible. Yes. But obviously, remember, sometimes it comes with if a person wants to play, all right, because maybe this situation, because he would have been qualified for Chelsea. Chelsea have 55 injuries now, so I think they would want everybody on their team. You understand me? So the same thing that you would have said for Blake, Blake would have been in the situation of his league haven't started as yet, so you're just taking precaution. But Chelsea's team starts playing. Even though most of us don't believe that he would be a traditional starting player, they don't have much players. So he would have to be on the list of person that they could call upon. You understand me? Because they have loaned out others. And what I've said to you, when you loan out players, it takes money to get them back. So if you know that people will come from AFCON, which is Jackson, back to the team, people will come back from injury. My boy that's in Kunko, that's borderline in the injury, and then the wingers them coming back from injury. Why waste the money to bring back Hutchinson, bring back my boy there at Dortmund and those stuffs? You don't need to waste your time on that. You just upgrade Richards and the next forward that they bought for 20 million on the list. Just upgrade them and just try to beat that 1 or 2 games until these guys come back after injury, and you save a lot of money. And more likely a starting 11 is good enough to get some results. So with that said, I could see if Richards is not available, I could clearly understand that. All right, I could clearly understand that. All right, so that's the approach I would have taken there. I wouldn't jump to say anything otherwise than, if he's not in this one, he could be one of them that wouldn't have to play. Based on the situation and based on he's at Chelsea's training at this point. And if he gets any game time, which he should at least make the bench. I'm not putting any pressure on him, but you have a serious amount of crisis in Chelsea, so he should even at least make the bench, because they just don't have players. So I would be shocked if he doesn't make the bench. You understand me? At least. For me, all right. So that is for Whisper. So hopefully, if he doesn't get any game for Chelsea and can play for the U20, that would be good, because at least we would have had a measuring stick for the other players them coming in. All right, a measuring stick for the other players them coming in to see where we can choose, because remember we have him as one of the higher ceiling players. So if we get 2 strikers and the 2 strikers better than him, it shows that our future is even brighter, or as good as him, whatever metric you want to use. All right, yes. Travis Pessoa, big up yourself. Thanks for being here. Xander Bicknell is just an overhyped player, in my opinion. That's what Kevin Williams says. Xander and a club. Yes, I know, but what I've done, I make people speak, and then I will try to reason on behalf of that. All right, you asked me a question, I've answered that one. You get me? Saw some persons being offensive because Dixon wasn't in the squad, and I have to laugh and shake my head. Okay, well, sometimes it's good to inform them, you know. Siobhan, don't adopt that elitist mentality, you know. I'm begging you. Sometimes just inform them, because that's what we do, you know. I think YouTube did a lot to educate people and put them up to speed. All right? Yes, and make them make better decisions. So sometimes just inform them. Don't approach the side of you know and you don't inform them. No, you can't tell me that Google is free. Because why would you have a job? All right, Google is free. So why I have a job on YouTube? Because it's the same Google I used most of the times. And people pay me to inform them. So I think the approach from your Siobhan there is a little bit off. And sometimes you have to have the balls. I'm going to repeat it in 2024. You are the first one that led me to say you have to have the balls to say when you maybe messed up, or you messed up there. Stop taking that approach, because it will lead you around people that are not maybe as genuine as to what you are. All right, my brother? Everyone can teach you things. Okay? Yes, you see, you make me have to break my oath right there. Jano Star. And Chevron, you see, man. Ricardo Myers, big of yourself. Thanks for being here. Let me go through these, and then I will bring in Jason and Pastor. All right. His dad Danny was was good when he first burst through on the scene. Had a lot of hype. Hopefully, Bailey represents us in the near future. Well, this kid is a good player. Then we have Richie Royalty in the building. Massive respect. Right. Yes, I never wanted to say it, but the man them have to draw me out because Chevron, I got to the further extent, and Chevron always take this approach. The reason why you're better than people is to actually aid other humans. So if you class yourself as better than them, make sure you try to give them the opportunity to at least choose to not be informed. You get me? Because I usually be like you, big boss. So I'm just giving you some advice. All right? Yes. Let me bring in the rest of the people. Yes, I'm not going to say the word again. I'm done. I'm done with Chevron as well. So Jason Guna, how are you doing? And what topic you want to touch so far? You have the floor.
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. Big up yourself, JD, resident balls boss, and big up fast.
No, please. I have said I'm done with it. So don't bring it in. All right, go ahead. Yes, I'm done with it.
Yes. So yeah, basically looking at the squad, most of the names you could understand. As you say, some of the more professional players, this was not good timing for them to leave their clubs. Really happy to see some of the continuity from the U17 because I think that's important. And I'm happy with some of the names from the U17 as well. I thought Barrett was really good. I thought Reed was really good. I thought Malachi Molina, I thought was probably the best player in the under-17s. I think Jamani Bell did a good account of himself as well. So happy to see his progression since he moved to the US. With Jamani, I'll be really looking out for if he has gotten any bigger, because I think that's one of the issues that he had in the under-17 as the games got tougher. You could easily bounce him off the ball at times, but very creative player, good technically. So just looking to see how he has progressed. Really excited that they were able to get some of the players that are in professional setups like Malachi Molina. I know Kyron is not necessarily in a professional setup; he's with the youth system mainly. But even for them to get a player from England in this Trinidad camp, that really shows a good sign, I think, because a lot of times when we go into these tournaments, one of the main issues, is the preparation, and we really very rarely are able to see any of our diaspora players in any kind of lead-up competition. So I like the fact that we're getting players from even the North Americas and one from the British diaspora as well. I think that augurs well, and what it also makes me wonder is, we need to maybe give John Wall some credit because, coaches in the past have always said that they have to wait until the actual tournaments to get these players. And, will this be a turning point moving forward for our youth teams where the coach now realizes if he has his plan in place and he reaches out to these players early enough and has this at least some kind of relationship with these clubs, then maybe the preparation can get better for these youth tournaments. Because I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to get much. I know they kept saying that it would be a North American/Jamaican trip. But until I saw the names on the list, I was not really prepared. I was figuring they would tell us that they couldn't get these players. So I am just happy that we are seeing some of the players from outside that can kind of integrate with the ones that John Wall has been working with. And yeah, I'm just interested to see. I hope that the games are shown. I know sometimes in these pre-tournaments, Trinidad in the past and Jamaica in the past have had a tendency to want to not show us these games. But I am hoping that we the fans will be able to see them, even if it's in a after the game setting. They put out the video, even if it's not live. So that would be my main hope, JD, that we can actually see the play, see the players, and analyze the ones that we haven't seen.
All right.
Yeah, so those are my takes so far.
All right, so you have said that we should give we never reached the credit part as yet because I've stated that at the front of the video. You rushed the video, you rushed that part, but maybe it's because you have to get your segment, you just outline things. So I can't have a problem with that. But we were going to grade and decide if he deserves the credit or not. But at the same time, what you have said right there may be proven that what we were saying that most of them wouldn't come, and we try to base it off them not wanting to come and them being in professional settings, could be deemed as an excuse before to keep on pushing other people in and not wanting to do the extra work. So at the end of the day, it would have tied in to say that John Wall did that extra work because he desperately wanted the best possible team. And it proves at the same time that these players are willing to take any opportunity you give to them. You call them at youth 17s, they turn up. Youth 15s, they turn up. The youth 20 camps, they turn up the last time. Some of them didn't get games. And some of them playing professional. And some of them is still turned up, even playing professional. So I think that stigma should be killed at this point, that you can't call them under certain circumstances, because they have turned up under all circumstances as to what I've seen right here. So I wouldn't just give John Wall credit. I think that some of these players have deaded that conversation that you can't get them under certain circumstances. You know, so I would give John Wall his credit, you know, but equal credit to the guys them as well, to turn up and see it fit to come and make an impact from early.
Well, JD, the only reason why I didn't mention the players per se is because I never for a minute thought that the players didn't want to come. I know that's what they used to sell us, but you know, due to me knowing a few players, especially the American side of things, and hearing them tell me how the communication with the JFF has gone in previous cycles, you know, I've never for a minute thought that the players are not interested. So whenever they try to tell us those lines, that's just something that I don't even accept. But yes, your point is very valid, JD. They deserve the credit, and hopefully people will realize now. You know, I think it's getting better with the senior team in terms of like people even questioning whether people want to play and everything. But I think, you know, the next step would be for them to realize that this is something that we could count from their little kids all the way right up. I mean, if we find the players, we reach out to the players in a professional way, you know, they will show interest, and that is just a fact. And we don't need to think any otherwise way. And they do want to come and fight for the country.
Yes, that's pretty much what we have actually gotten from this conversation, that we can just avoid certain things. But I had to say it because, remember, it was a thing and is a thing. So we have to make sure we put it back into the viewers' head to say, see, every time these guys, every time we give them an opportunity to prove that they are not interested, they prove that they are even more interested than what we first thought. So we have to, but obviously we have a new lease of life, and we kind of tear up some of the pages from before, but we still have to talk about it just the same, you know. We have to still show the people that it proves, you know. And I thought that the same thing happened before, previous years, yeah, but it's okay. We're not going to lament on it too long. All right, so big up yourself, Dr. GG. Massive respect. Yes, so let we get Pastor on the line, so Pastor can get himself involved, and then we can break down a few of these players that can take us to our next level, and then we can look at what we're expecting from the competition itself. And once you come in, please do hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Christopher Wright, big up. Go ahead, Pastor. And subscribe to the channel as well. Get us up to 9,270. All right, just a few more subscribers and we can hit that. All right, go ahead, Pastor.
Jenny, good morning to everybody in the chat and those who would be on the rewatch. Let me just say, I hope it doesn't offend people, because at this point, JD, I am very, I'm just going to use the word, I'm furious at a few things regarding the list that is put out with the JFF continued mediocre practice. As you can see in the chat, I posted what my question would be. But to incorporate what Jason just articulated, the big word would be the relationship. Coach Grimm spoke about the importance of the relationship that he has developed with the Trinidadian coach, and it is the relationship that the national coach for whichever team has developed with counterparts in the diaspora that will make the parents comfortable in encouraging their children to accept the opportunity given to them. We were never of the opinion that the players did not want to come. We knew that for a fact that that was a lie because we have had international experience with the players in the diaspora and know some things on a personal level. So we knew that that was a lie. But now it is showing up that a responsible, sensible coach knows how to build relationship, and we are reaping the benefits of building relationship. So I will start with that positive, that yes, we are better off when we do best practices, and even without them being together for an elongated period of time, this argues well for us. We will have a better showing because anybody that have any experience at all, when you have the opportunity prior to a major competition to relate, you have a better understanding of how somebody will react under pressure, know where you need to aid that person, where that person is weak, and know that in your weakness, you will get support from your teammates around this area. You're going to be able to be more comfortable, more relaxed, and the output will be greater. Full stop. So, yeah, I have to, and the reason Jason was able to mention it that way, and it comes across easy for all of us who are football minded and the best for the players and the country's interests, is because this is true. The truth have a way to permeate many places. So yeah, kudos to the coaching staff, management team. And this is one point where you have to say, give JFF the plus, because since it is them that are responsible for the running of the program, yes, you got it right this time. So give JFF, boister them up, put little air under their wing, they can fly. Kudos to JFF. Very well done. We appreciate it. This is what we have wanted for a long time.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pastor, for that. It was looking like he was going the wrong way, and then he actually said something nice. Because Travis
don't go the wrong way. I don't go the wrong way. I am a straight Jamaican. Don't ever say that.
It never took 5 seconds for him to go back in his So Travis,
I made sure to tell everybody that I'm furious. I am furious, but I am going to be fair and honest. I am very upset. I am tired of the mediocrity and the normalization of what is wrong. But I am not going to allow that to hinder me from being honest and truthful or overshadow what is right.
But Pastor, if you had let me speak on the matter, I was giving you credit, but the credit just never started with the words that you have.
Yes, don't use the wrong word.
It's going to be the right way. So let me speak, big man, because you don't own me or own what I'm going to say. All right, so let me speak.
No idea.
Let me speak.
Yes,
all I was trying to say is because Travis here, he has a problem with you. Right? And he just said he can't help himself. JFF lives in Lansdale Blake, aka Pastor's Head, rent free. But the fact that you just said ended with something good, he prematurely tried to push it in a bad light. And now I'm gonna see if he has the you know what I'm talking about, to come up and be a man and give Pastor his credit. All right, because Pastor said something well. So it's just to show you, that sometimes you just need to give people time to let them speak. And Mr. Chevan, if you are in position in life to do good, and take charge. You have to take charge. You can't fight fire with fire. All right, sir? That's all I'm going to say with you. Because you had said that
JD,
if they never came off disrespectful, you would have been more helpful. That doesn't mean you're genuinely being helpful then. That means you want to feel good. That's why you help people then.
Yeah,
All right?
the help
That's
only
not
comes on your
authentic anymore.
terms. Yeah.
And that's not authentic in life. You so like you can look at things two ways. So from the other day, I'm talking to you, Siobhan, and the one thing keeps on coming up is you can look at things two different ways. So stop stuck in your own way, Mr. Siobhan. And you know, I know you a long time, so I can tell you my mind. All right, yes. So stop fighting with people. All right, yes. It's 2024. I have stopped fighting with people a long time now. I am
JD,
pretty much of a
JD,
full-time Christian.
JD, just JD, ju- just an interruption
Pastor,
and a correction.
Pastor, I never wanted to go. I never wanted nothing after this, Pastor. We give you credit, and the people in the chat
No, I'm
give you
not
credit
talking
for the
about
first
me. I'm
time.
not talking about
But I
me,
have other
JD.
topics,
I'm not talking
Pastor.
about me.
All right, you know what? Go ahead, Pastor.
No,
Do what you want to do. Do what you want to
no.
do. Do what you want to do.
JD, you have a wide cross section of
I have no
viewers.
wide cross section, Pastor. You don't know nothing about me.
Of viewers. Of
Okay.
viewers.
Yes,
Of
speak.
viewers.
Say the viewers first before
Yes.
the cross section.
No,
You're bright and faced. Yeah, what that boy? You know, go on. Let us stop activate our Jamaican sides because the
all
stream
right.
won't
And
be nice. All right.
hold on. You made the statement when you were speaking to Siobhan that you cannot fight fire with fire. Because of my agricultural training, and I
Jesus
believe that there are some people who watch your streams who are from the sugarcane industry
God.
and people who have experience in fighting forest fires. One of the way you fight fire, JD, is with fire. So that statement is not always true. That's all I was attempting to
All right,
correct in your
Pastor.
statement to Siobhan.
I was talking about
So you can
context.
fight
So
fire?
I've
No,
never seen a human
hold
fire
on.
before. I've never seen a human fire before walking around. So it's context. I was talking about human beings and human beings. So
JD,
Pastor, you cannot answer me. Pastor, I'm not gonna go down the road with it. It may not have a next way. It not have a next answer to it. I was right in my statement because we're talking about human damn beings. So me not care what you want to say. All right, I'm done
I
right now.
can
So
I can
yes.
say this in my English in my communication experience. I had a professor at the College of Agriculture, Dr. Sajabi Smith. She was the first person that introduced me to the possibility where you can be grammatically correct in your communication practices, but morally wrong. You were a while ago correct in all of your pronouncement, except that you were morally wrong in your communication practice.
People,
JD.
I was morally wrong. I'm gonna accept
Yes.
it, and I'm gonna move
No,
on.
not in your use of your communication practices. Don't just say morally wrong, because moral take on a very broad aspect. So in your communication a while ago, you may have been grammatically correct. Not may have been, you were, because you were restricting yourself to a singular context, but the words you were using take on broader connotations. That's all I wanted to clear up, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, Pastor, finished speaking. All right, yes. So you guys take it for what you want. All right, yes. I am sorry. All right. So, anyways, let me
Don't be
talk
sorry,
about.
JD. Don't be
No,
sorry.
Pastor, I
We're
don't want
moving
it.
forward.
Pastor, I don't want you to say anything. Just make me speak now, Pastor. You just take the floor. Let me speak, please. All right. Good Lord, man. Oh God, these guys with the name Blake at the end. Oh my God. You know. So, anyways, no, we're staying on topic. It's just Pastor. Always want to draw things out. So, anyways, Pastor, we are talking on the credit for the coach and also what should be expected. What should we actually expect from the squad that left out, and how far you think that they will be in their development as to what is expected from the first event, which is the qualification. If I've worded it correctly, Pastor.
Yes, you have worded that question correctly. And that's why I was saying, don't say sorry. We live and we learn. We
Pastor,
learn
I
as we
say
live.
what Pastor, listen to me.
You said it correct. You asked a
Pastor,
question. You said
what
if
is
you
your
had
job?
worded it
What
correctly.
is your
You
job,
did.
Pastor? What is your job? Because you just
As a
said you're working in
pastor, no, as a
agricultural
pastor,
part. You're a shark
yes,
catcher. You're a shark
I'm
catcher.
a
Let me
certified
say,
person.
you're a shark catcher down at the Keys. You're a beer catcher up in the hills. You're a pastor. Yes.
Yes.
I don't know what you really do. So go ahead, Pastor.
Okay. So we're going to stay on topic. And since you coined your question the way you did, I'm going to say yes, you worded it properly. And I'm going to answer within the context that you have worded it. Again, kudos to all the persons involved. We need to say when they do the right things and give them credit for doing the right things. So kudos to them. I have much higher expectations on this team than previous team, not because I am foolishly optimistic, but because I believe in a process done right or allowed to flow right. So if you have put in the work, if you have utilized the time available, then you are in the position where you trust the process. In so saying, you trust God with that which you are not able to do. So we got the right players, we got them in time so they could understand what the coach is expecting and develop some kind of a synergy chemistry relationship with each other. Now we are going to play 3 games prior to the major competition. And here are my expectations from the very first training session in Trinidad. I expect that the players will give a good account of themselves, because it would be my position that they would have had sufficient time to relax, to be comfortable in what is required of them. That each player going on the park will give a good account of themselves. And so that would benefit the team in a positive way, and we will be successful. The measure of success is not only in a winning result against a Trinidadian team, but the measure of success, in my mind, would be that we play the position that we are placed in, and we improve, as in speeding up and taking control of the game, speeding up, slowing down, balancing, know when to make passes over and against making shots, know when to hold the ball to draw players out of their position so you get your teammates into proper positions. So those things measured
So
for me, which you would
pretty much
analytics and that sort of thing.
get closer to what the coach is trying to instruct. Get closer
Yes.
to that.
To-
All right.
yes.
So all right. The reason I've asked that, I wanted Jason to answer, but was all on people, what you are expected inside the chat. Please drop what you're expecting. So what you would be satisfied with, because I don't want when the team go there and maybe the result is not what you want, you're going to jump up and say they are workless and all sort of things. So I want to hear what you guys expect. You expect them to get closer to the system of the coach, because these are not the actual real games. So they need top up. They need to learn a few things, because obviously they don't know the coach, and obviously they have to come in a new surrounding. So what would you be satisfied with? All right, because we don't want, if we get a chance to watch the game, we are beating the guys if they can't make the passes together, because you can make a pass good, when you know the other player and know the system. But what if the next man not staying in good positions? We have watched African football. A lot of them are big stars, but they haven't played with each other. And you see a guy's not making 5-yard passes. He's making the 5-yard passes, But the problem is the next one not reading it, because clearly they don't know. They are not in sync. You understand me? So sometimes it takes a while. So for me, I would just like to see what they are trying to achieve and how far they are from that, rather than the results, to be honest. You understand me? Yes. So go ahead, Jason. I have not gotten any comments on what they're expecting.
Yes.
So that means everyone holding back their words to beat them in the end.
So yeah, I am gonna because in the past I have, I guess the fan in me has been upset whenever we play preliminary games before a tournament and we don't get good results. I remember when we were in Austria before the Gold Cup, we lost. Well, I think we tied. Well, how did they go? We tie one and lose one. And
Yes.
I remember being very upset. With the results. And then we moved forward to the Gold Cup and we had much better results in the Gold Cup. So, I'm not going to hold so much emphasis on the results themselves. I think how you put it is exactly how I would look at it, JD, in terms of, I want to see them working on something, working on a style of play, trying to hone in on what they're going to be looking like on set pieces and things of that nature. Just try to put some things in place that will hold them in good stead for the actual tournament. I don't think the results are as important as they normally would be. And I think, as you said, it's just going to be, hopefully he can figure out some combinations that he would like to use. I know it's going to be tough because, there may be other players coming in for the actual February tournament even on top of these. But at least, he should be able to find somewhat of a core group that he can lean on, especially in this first qualifying section, because
not to cut you, but let me just add to it and you continue. Because I just want to ask a question here. So, would this influence you to accept less players because it's so close to the tournament? And people inside the chat, let me know your thoughts, because we're trying to get to certain things, because we don't want we to just switch our mouths, because we like to just jump on the next side and just say something else when everything goes wrong. So at this current point, we are going to have these games. It's the 25th and the 1st, and remember the tournament starting the something, the 23rd or something like that.
Yeah, I think the 20 either
21st or the 23rd. Yeah, 21st to the 23rd it's starting. So that means we have to get everything before 1 week before. So from the 16th or from the 14th we have to pack up on everything. So we only have 2 weeks after we have less than 2 weeks after we finish the final game.
Yeah.
For final game. So how much players you would add to this if your expectations are not just get the players them closer together and results? Be fair to we inside the comment section, and I'm going to run through it once I give Jason the time to speak. So Jason, go ahead. Would you go and make wholesale changes after?
I probably wouldn't. I would say of this 23, if we can only take 20 to the tournament, I would expect at least about 15 to 17, 18 of them to come from this group right here. Mainly because, the coach the other day in his interview placed an emphasis on, boy, it's really the tournaments that we get to play that he thinks that we gain the most from, not necessarily just one-off windows. And if that's the case, you have to look at it like John Wall is probably looking at this like, okay, this camp will be kind of this will be the longest time I'll have with the team before the actual matches, right? And they would get a lot as far as development in this time in Trinidad, because they'll have good training time around some matches. So I wouldn't really beat the JFF or John Wall so much if the bulk of that team in February for that tournament in St. Kitts comes from this. I would want to add at most 5 players to this set right here. I think that with him being able to get some of the players that are playing, semi-professional or youth professional overseas in this group for this camp, I think that bodes well because, he may have wanted more, but at the same time, when you look at the competition that we will play in that game, don't want to take anything away from them, but I do think, we have some experienced players at this level that are from the local side, and I think they will be a little more advanced than some of our local players might have been in past tournaments. And I'm referring to like the Adrian Reeds, Ronaldo Barrett, players of that nature who have been playing for their club team in Caribbean Cups and also represented us in the under-17. So they have an idea of how these tournaments work and a little bit of experience. So I think it's twofold. We have some more experienced local-based players in this squad setup just based on the competitions they've been playing. And he was able to get some more players from the diaspora even in the first part. And I think that's the difference with this one that I'm seeing. Because in the past, we wouldn't have gotten these players for this tournament. It probably would have been, a heavily schoolboy football makeup squad, Because even when they were talking about playing professional players for this system, when you looked at the list that was presented to us as far as minutes, I don't understand how people are beating John Wall for putting schoolboys in there, because even on the list itself, there was not 23 players that we could pick that had been playing Premier League minutes. So people had to understand he was going to have to pick some if everything wasn't going to come from the diaspora to make up. So I don't know why people are really cussing him there, because if you look at the list, there were only really about 8 names that had any significant minutes. So that still leaves space for 15 more players that you have to find. So I don't know why people are surprised that Michael Forbes or Omari and Thomas or Demarai and Harris or any player that is not affiliated to like a Jamaica Premier League club has made it. They had to find players from somewhere. We don't have enough playing. It's only Cavalier really playing the youth that many minutes. So, he had to find players. But to answer the question, I don't think you will see a big influx coming in for that first tournament in St. Kitts, apart from who you see on this list.
All right. So thanks for that. Because what we're trying to clear up is to give people more understanding as to things. Because I thought that previously we maybe stroke the fire a little bit more so people can just beat people out of proportion, when reality is if your intention was, because some of the persons are very much unrealistic because they want we to go there and beat Trinidad and beat up everybody and then go in the tournament and beat up everybody as well. But you don't realize that if we went there with this squad of 20 whatever player on the list, I'm going to count it after, but whatever, on the list, then after, no, we're going to take out 10 out of them, because obviously we'd have gotten 10 more people from foreigners, bring them in. But our expectations still stay the same when these guys are coming in for the first time. It's not like they were in the youth 17s or the youth 15s and know the procedure from the coach. And that's why I've always said that the quota thing from youth 15s and 17s is absolute madness, because some people progress faster than some. Some goes to professional level and won't be available for training, average training sessions. So those guys, they are going to be left out because they are too good. And then the persons that are too bad, you are actually rewarding. You so like that sounds. That's why when you actually spell out things, you see the nonsense of how people approach these conversations. You understand me? Yes. So I would say for now, the intention should be get as much players in. Yes, that is true. But for now, like how you have a few of the individuals coming from overseas. And really, 10 more players will not be available. Don't follow anybody. 10 more players will not be available. Around 5 maximum, and that is okay to swap them out, because some of the better players them from overseas is actually on the list now. So a few of the others them might just get me shaken up, and it works just the same. But I'm talking overall, like in the future, if we have a bunch of new players for U20s, we can't just chop and change them if they are proper professionals. All right, we have to bring them in from earlier, from the youth 17, so they know how general coaches and what the plan for the entire structure, so they don't have to come back because they're professionals for a reason. Michael Garden said the best players that become available as injection of new players could upset the perceived chemistry. However, anyone that can bolster what we gain from their preliminaries is great. All right. Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. And that's what I was pretty much saying. You know, it all depends on what you want as a viewer. You get me? You can't just jump to say you're gonna switch players. You know, because they are just better, and then you remained to have your stance. I'm just talking about the unfair complex from the fans. You know, and that leads a lot of us not to turn up at the games and to support the national team because we're just unrealistic. You understand me? Because we want to win and we want to grow at the same time. And being realistic, if we had the full local team, we ain't going anywhere. We have to be honest to ourselves. We ain't going anywhere. So we just have a complex situation where we have professional players that can play for Jamaica at all levels. They turn to just become professional at all levels. So that means they are better than the average players them by a decent stretch. But the difference is they can't come in to get more of that gelling process. So to get them from an earlier age is always the best choice. All right. And the more we learn that these guys are willing to come, start reaching out to them from any time. Especially when they are not nobodies. Wrong word. Pastor will find me on that side. But when they are not recognized on the biggest England side or the biggest America side, you make sure you reach out to them, build a relationship, as what Pastor says. All right, so this is the list. Princewood, how you doing, man? Says, yo, JD, Trinidad footballer score for PSV. Yeah, thanks very much. You told me about that as well. So Trinidad making their own waves. It's a little bit difficult for them to get as much players for like Jamaica, but they are doing good with what they do have. All right, so we have Joshua Grant, Tawain Lynch, and D. Jones Davis. You guys thought that this goalkeeper pool could have been better? Because the first thing persons asked me, you know, why Pusa is not on the list? You know, so do you look at it to say that? Because I have watched the Pusai guy, and I'm very sorry. This has nothing to do with Mr. Butler, because a lot of you guys have the preconceived notion to say that I hate Mr. Butler. No. And these players, no, that's a lie, because I bigged up all other players that plays for him. I just think that maybe he will be good in the future, which would be extremely harder, because I think now his size would have given him the advantage. You understand me? And when I saw him played, the only thing I can say that he is truly good at is just to kick the ball long, which that is a limited part of the football inside. So for me, I don't think he's at the level of the development. For me, I am not the highest fan of him. I am not the highest fan of him. I think he's big, but that could have masked the poor part of his actual development, because he was big at the younger level. But the higher he goes, because I thought in the Manning Cup I watched a lot of the games them, and a lot of the games them, he was the one that cast his team. You understand me? And that should, the level that you're playing is, the Manning Cup is not a high level to a U20 competition. So that would have told me that where you are, you're prone to making more mistakes. And the long kicking away, people can control ball at U20s at a higher rate. Bellingham and those guys, Musiala, they are just past 20, if not under 20. You understand me? They are professional, world-class players worldwide. So under 20 players are not just trumps. Obviously, some of them are to 18, but 18 years old are professional as well, and they can control football, and they can control their spacing. So you're not gonna just kick a big ball away and think that they can't control it, and your winger will have an advantage. No, getting the ball from back to front is a 33% chance of getting it down. So you limit your team already to face a counter attack. You understand me? So the strength of his game based on footballing logics, excitement. People would say it's exciting, and you could, when you say the word and a big kick and those stuff, it sounds good in Jamaican terms, but in a worldwide terms, I don't think people would look at it as making much of a step. So sorry about that. Go ahead, Jason, and then Pastor can come in. We are discussing the parts of the field.
Yeah, the goalkeepers. So yeah, for me, was a little bit surprised with Davis' inclusion, but I know he was in the camp, the local camp, as one of the keepers, and from what I heard, he did impress. In terms of the size issue with Puss, I think with him, it's he's a big player, big frame for his age and everything, and I think Davis is also as tall as him, and I think Davis is a lot more agile and a little more, better fitness level. And I think with Bernard, it just goes to prove like the power of good marketing, because I think people are really asking about him just based on the fact that he's known. But if you really analyze his performance, especially because I've heard people say he had a good Manning Cup season, and he did for the first 2 rounds. But I think once the games got tougher and he was faced with more questions, too often he didn't come up with the right answers. And I think it just comes down to, with him, for me, what I see is positioning. And for someone so big, he really does not command the aerial balls that well, which is kind of strange to me. So what you would think would be, something that would be a positive for someone of his size is really a negative for him. So I think he needs a lot of work in that aspect. And he to me looks like a player that just needs reps. I know a lot of times, the Phoenix boss doesn't like his players to play in any games and stuff, but I think he's doing that young man a disservice, because I think he just needs reps, more times to, judge crosses, judge corners, command his box. He just needs to be playing more games. I don't think for him, the whole, hiding from the Jamaican leagues is really helping him. I think he needs more playing time. And I totally understand how he didn't make the team. So I'm not really one that's calling for him. But I think due to what we had, I think these are the keepers that you would expect. I do think, though, that when we get into, if we happen to get past this February tournament and get to the main one in the summer, I think goalkeeper would be a position that John Wall will be looking at people to bring in, because I don't believe that we have any goalkeepers at that level when we get to, playing the teams of the ilk of the USAs and the Canadas and the Mexicos. I think he would want some better options. I do have a lot of time for Joshua Grant. I thought he did exceptional in the under-17. And I still don't understand how he wasn't the starter to begin with, but that's for another story. But yeah, I think based on what we had to use, I understand the 3 keepers that were selected.
All right. So before you go, Pastor, we saw Aldean came in because you have some man that does pillow man. You understand me? When I'm a virgin, Aldean, I'm a virgin, but you have some man, and that's why people text me. As what Jason said, they do good marketing in Jamaica. So sometimes people just see things, and I've said it 2 years ago. Majority of the times, to be successful in Jamaica is just to be everywhere. You have L.A. Lewis, is a superstar in Jamaica. No disrespect to L.A. Lewis, but he does nothing. He just everywhere. You go under the sea bottom, you see his name. So just be enough, and more likely be something. So the marketing might make you believe that these players are good as what as advertised, but you have people that are professionals analyzing them. And remember, the coach was around this player for a long time, so for him to come to the same conclusion as us, regardless of how much goals he conceded, Mr. Aldean, it no matter. We can see that the player is not ready, and the other guys them are deserving of the position. We can be we can be honest to ourselves. Remember, we're all Jamaicans, and our main objective is to win the damn games and to progress. Because remember, the intention is when we do good and gain all the capital, it's going to be spent back in Jamaica on producing better players from an earlier age. But because of our ego in between now, we can't even give the people that we employed a proper opportunity to get us that capital to improve our youths them in the future. We can just avoid the current youths them, and tell the truth, But we know that for the next, we will know if what we are missing was only the opportunity. Because remember, that's what we used to blame now, Because we don't have the opportunity as the other guys them. That's why we're not so good as the other guys them. So why we still a fight from the opportunities them coming in by trying to block up the roads every single time for certain people. Alien come and said, this has nothing to do with being a pillar man. I'm asking a reasonable question. How many goals he conceded? Well, enough mistakes were made, Aldian, by my eyeballs and by John Wall eyeballs. So it was very clear that they would have gone for those guys. And I have that same feeling because the one thing that was sold to us, he's a big keeper, 700 foot, and he can kick the ball the whole field. You understand me? Which that has nothing to do with football. You understand me? It has nothing to do with football at this point, because football is a tactical type of game. So if you have a long kick but nothing else, it's very hard for you to, it limits your team basically. So you need more ammunition, to be honest, Aldi, and that's what we are pretty much saying. And I do believe that the coach would have come down to that. But at the same time, Jason stated that the 3 goalkeepers might still not cut it. You might still need something else. But I don't think the coach made a... you still didn't answer my question. Okay, no, but I gave you a solid reason for the omission. That is what I was talking about, I never wanted to answer your question because you're going to make up stories, to fantasize with your pillar design that you're going to add to the pillar. So, yes, every day me and Aldian were guys. So it's no biggie with me and Aldian. Guys, we have 200 people in the house. Please do hit the like button, share and subscribe. Pastor, give a quick summary of what you saw with the goalkeeper part. But remember, guys, this is people that texted me. Because I never had a chance, Everyone knows that I'm going to come out at this point in the morning because I don't rush work. It gives me time to research and see where the questions you can truly ask and stuff without selling a narrative and sell false things to people. You see the approach that we took today is not to try come out and beat a JFF or beat a coach or nothing. We are trying to be reasonable and apply our footballing education to see where it balances out. And for the goalkeeper, I am okay with it. All right, bro. You're talking about many mistakes he made in Manning Cup, but not talking about how many goals he conceded. But Aldian, you can make 50 mistakes. But yet still, the striker might never finish the chances. But at a higher level, the strikers would have finished more of the chances. So you don't have to make sure, you don't have to wait until the mistakes be punished to make a decision. That's why it's called football education. Before the play starts, you see where the action took place, and then you try to eradicate it. You don't wait until the action already completed. You understand me? Just Alien reason, civil man, stop coming from a one direction side. I'm giving you the actual facts. Alien, it says nothing to fight with. Lord. Pastor, go ahead, man. Me Alien I go hard the whole day, and him I go keep and tell him, say, him know the best. So Alien now going to school, but football relation. Never say not going to school otherwise because I don't want you to beat me. But yet still, they still want to tell me something that a person's working off the same footballing book, So that's all on Aldian, I don't need to highlight the good as well. I don't need to highlight because we're asking why he never made it over the others. So we have to highlight what is wrong, why he never made it. Reasoning should be a skill, You understand me? Remember, we are highlighting why he never made it because the question was asked why he never made it. So why me should come and say, yeah man, him can kick the ball long and the greatest kick, or the whole him not no other kick like him. That wouldn't defeat the purpose why he never made it, Jason? Or am I too dunce?
No, I think because we can't produce how many goals he concede, Aldian think it's biased. But I don't understand why that would be such a definitive thing. But in my analysis, what I had said was, if people tell me he had a good Manning Cup season, they must be talking about the regular season and the second round or something, because as you were saying, JD, the mistakes that you make as the competition goes further along and you're playing better teams, you tend to see them more. So my reasoning is when he was under more pressure, when they played better opposition, and he had to face more shots, face more crosses, face more corners, we saw more mistakes. And I think on the flip side, I didn't really know of the George's keeper until the games got tough. So if anybody remember, you remember when JC and George's played, JC should have won that game like 10-1. And the keeper made like 5 point blank saves and command his box and did everything proper. And, you know, he raised his game when the games got tougher. And I didn't see that from Akeem this season. And if you tell me you never see that, then I...
So you want to turn it around to the man Jason to say maybe he's the one that started for a bias point. But me never said 10 minutes ago. I told you about the design that he's looking to put on a new pillar, you know. Go ahead.
I got a phone call. Sorry about that. But yeah, I was finished though. Pastor, if you
all right, yes. Go ahead, Pastor, so we can move on from the goalkeeper side. All right, guys, we're not here to beat down nobody, but we have just remember we're trying to either see if the coach made a good decision at the first selection. That's what we're going through. So we have to just start the truth. We had to watch these games, you know, a football watch, you know, and a pink wall or gossip we are running, you know. You understand me? A football we watch, so we see the situations them. Alright, so just come on, man. Give we credit for our work, man. Alright, go ahead, Pastor.
As we deal with the goalkeepers, this is where my fury begins to be unleashed. The list that you posted on that green background appears to be the list that is posted on the JFF page and how it is posted, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Now, this is a information age of a competition team being put out, and it comes with only names, some of which are not correctly spelled, and we do not know the attachment of all of these players because the list did not come out with the clubs they're playing or the academy they're from or the school that they're from. None of that. It is not at the level of international standard. So JFF, Rangbang, you are an international product. You have a brand to protect. You must, not maybe, not sometimes, you must elevate to the level of internationally accepted standards. So for our 3 goalkeepers, what is in keeping with international standard is the correct spelling of their name, their age, the club to which they're attached or academy, and since we're dealing with the goalkeepers, their position. The more detailed list would have their height and their strengths as against their weakness. So people like Aldane who are making noise would have seen the critical information as to why a player would be selected over another player, because the strengths of these 3 would be clearly outweighing the strength and weakness of the other players that were not selected. This is a fundamental flaw of the JFF communication or the press officers department. It must stop somewhere.
All right, Pastor. Take your time right there, Pastor. The war in the chat. When you speak, Pastor, you just war, make the people them war. Mirak. It still says Mirak. I've explained to you, Mirak. The guy doesn't command his backs well. So even when you think it's not a mistake, other people that are educated enough in football see it as a mistake already. So you saw only 2 or 3 mistakes. Maybe the coach Wall saw 50. Saw actual 50. Because in one game I saw 3 and I am not as educated as Wall. In one game, and it's the same stats game that I was actually watching. And in that same stats game, and you wouldn't saw those ones. So sometimes you have to give the people educated in a particular field for a reason. For the reason. So let me just start respect them. Ask them what they classed as a mistake, and then they can explain to you. So you can go back now, research it, and say, oh damn, you know, I actually learned something. But nobody come and make definitive statement to say that you only see 3 and he's not as bad. The only reason why they are not as bad is because we want to sell that false sense of security to say that all the Phoenix players them good. That's all we want to sell, you know. That's what we actually try to go, you know. Because she will like a person we just want to force to say that. You get me? Yes. So all I'm saying is John Wall might have seen enough and decide that these are the ones that he's going to go with. Because he was the one beside John Wall the most out of every other player under this U20. John Wall brought him into even the senior squad training. Remember well. Alright? Remember well, John Wall brought him up to the senior training to how long he's around John Wall. So if the man don't pick him, that tells you because he saw enough of him, enough for him to make a decision. So we could be honest to ourselves, no people. And must something he saw why he never made that decision. So we could be honest to ourselves, Mirak. And yeah, go ahead, but because we want to move on from the goalkeeper side.
Yeah, this is where my resume gets me in trouble. Even though I played most of the time as anywhere in the defense line and up to CDM, I was always the 3rd goalkeeper with the team. Yeah. Because Jason mentioned the JC player, the George's goalkeeper rather, I'm going to use that goalkeeper and Wait when Wait had to be in the goal when Andre Blake was not available. If you watch a goalkeeper that is competent in terms of space management and defense organization, people go back and look at the matches when Wait is keeping. He has Pinnock, but he's still giving Pinnock instructions. Pinnock is levels above Wait. But the value of a goalkeeper that manages his space dictates to even the highest level centre back.
Pastor, I don't want to cut in about the people in my ball, so if we move on. I want to move on 5 minutes ago, but I'm going to make it finish. But you see, the next war we get in on the channel, once we cut you, we are move on. Alright, so finish your goalkeeper statement because people say you have 42 pages on your CV like Butler, just the same. So go ahead, finish your goalkeeper conversation, and then we're going to move on. Oh, God. What finish, Pastor? Guys, we're going to move on. Let's let Pastor finish his statement and let him move on. Get the likes up to 200 because we do our job. That's all, you know. So go ahead.
I don't know that Butler ever produced.
And Pastor, Pastor, don't even mention the man name again. No, you make the people in the clip we can't comprehend, and then say we are chat a man and a cause problem. Pastor, the stick on the goalkeeper conversation. Yes, please, God, Pastor, you take on the next chapter to move the show into 10 more minutes that we never give you. We want 10 minutes, Pastor. We need 10 minutes back.
Okay. So for the goalkeeper, the George's goalkeeper did space management as it became required of him. And the reason he had so much to do when he played the better oppositions is because he had to be calling to more than one of his defenders within the same frame of a play because they were not where he saw that they needed to be. So he had to become Superman because your defense is out of place. And it is the opposition that actually plays them out of place most of the time because they are not aware of where they are a lot of the times. So for people who don't realize, you see, when you go up to the level where the guru is talking to you, it makes or break your game. Because when Wall carried him to the senior team, the national goalkeeping coach was giving him instruction. If you cannot take it from the top man and implement it, you are going to be left behind. So, as Jason said, he needs to be put in a position where he be given the opportunity to be repetitious until these basic tenets become second nature. A goalkeeper don't have time to think about it. He has to be able to be proactive while reacting. Because some shots you can't hug up, it go bounce off. Where it go bounce off, go. So you have to, you're literally a 4C. I'm not saying they are obia men or obia women, but you have to literally see what is going to happen before it happens as a goalkeeper if you're going to perform at the highest level. And he does not at this time possess that. What he has work in the first leg of the Manning Cup, he have big frame, he have brute force, so people afraid of him. But you don't need to be afraid of a goalkeeper if he's not in the best position. You just pass the ball around him.
Yes, it's a one-man church. Yes, because Pastor, he can't. I realized that he can't be the superstar YouTuber I'm trying to turn him into. It's just not gonna work. You know, it's not going to work. All right. Yes. So thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Pastor, for your input right there. All right. Yes. Jesus. God. Defenders. Michael Forbes, Heimir Dixon, Malachi Molina, Ronaldo Barrett, Malachi Grant, Keani Jackson, Omario, Henry. All right, and I think you have one more player that, but anyways, he can play both positions, so it doesn't really matter. So what you make of the defenders? Anyone that you saw out that you would have put in, Jason?
There's some defenders from the last U17. Like for me personally, I think that Alex Xavier Gooden is a better defender than
my bad.
Dixon.
All right. Okay.
I think if I was picking one of those, I know Heimir Dixon was the captain, but I never really saw much in the player to say he's like a international level. But you know, everybody can't be the coach, so I just look on and give my take.
All right.
And another thing I'll say on the defenders, I don't understand how Keani Jackson and Mario Henry are defenders. Somebody can maybe help me with that.
Let's talk on the players that you know are defenders. I've just literally said the same thing, Jason. That sometimes on the paper people don't know where they play, and so vice versa. And sometimes they actually play multiple positions. So maybe they got a phone call that the guys they want in. Maybe they got a phone call that they alright, so Jason, let me look at two sides then. Because true, we always beat the JFF. Let me look at it from this way. Guys, I have not gotten any money from the JFF. I have not gotten bought up from JFF. Just trying to look at it. Suppose the player, they had midfielders filled with. And he's trying to look at different position. And he called up the other guys them. And they said, listen to me now. I can play there. And I will play there for you guys. Obviously, I'm not dubbed as that position because I play my natural position for my club. But because you deemed that I'm not good enough for the actual position at this point, because we have someone here there, I will actually sacrifice for the team and you put me on the paper as a defender. I'm just trying to go with a big cycle. You know, it make little sense, still not as much. And I've not sold out people. No, no, no. I'm just trying to bring something else. So, Jason, what do you say about that?
Okay, Jason, go first.
Yes, Jason was talking, Pastor. You just passed it. I just part defenders. And they want to come about this.
I asked a question and yielded as quickly as you returned to mentioning Jason's name. No issue.
Anyway, the defender list, as I say, I don't understand some of them being there, but I'll just talk on the names they put. Michael Forbes saw him play a few games overseas with the Jamaica All Schools team. Look like a decent prospect. I think for him, the main issue is just positioning. He's one of those defenders that think he can win every single ball, no matter where it is. And if he can just, stay in his zone a little better, I think he does have some potential. Pretty calm on the ball, can find a pass. So I like his potential. As I said, I didn't think Heimir Dixon was that good, but I know he did go overseas. So hopefully he has improved a little bit. So looking forward to see his progression. I thought Malachi Molina was excellent for the under-17. I want to see his growth as a player and also just physically because he's a little bit on the smaller side in terms of frame. Ronaldo Barrett, I think he's a very good player. I really hope that Mr. Speed and Cavalier can get him opportunity overseas. I do think he has the potential. Looks to be a hard-working youth. Head down. You don't really hear much from him, even though, he's one of the players that everybody knows. He just seems to be, very focused and driven on his football, which I love. Malachi Grant, this player, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he a part of the under-17 like before and didn't make the team?
Grant?
Yeah.
I am not sure if it was paperwork issues or something,
Okay.
was a problem.
So he never really came to train or anything, or did he?
Yeah, man. He was in talks with Jamaica, man. He was either in training or in talks. He was surely in training, or they saw him from overseas.
I'm not sure if he came
in camp. I'm not sure if he came in camp, but he was in and around the Jamaican U17 scene. But I thought it was either some paperwork or something like that. But it was not down to him being not good. Believe me, it was not down to that.
Because I know, because I remember doing some research when his name came up for that camp, and he was an MLS Next Pro All-Star and all these things. So I know he's a good player. And then Keanu Jackson, a player that from Jamaica that actually does play in the Premier League, gets not a lot of minutes, but he does play. I believe he's even scored a goal in the Premier League. And then you have Omari Henry. I believe
Ian Campbell said he did not make the team, and this made me mad. It was not paperwork. Okay. So Ian Campbell said he never made the team.
Yeah, man. I knew it was. I think I want to say this is the player that they told he attacked too much or something like that. It was some foolish reason.
Okay. I don't know. So I am going to.
That is not that is not from Imaxit football. That is from Jason Guna, what I just said. So, yeah. And Omari Henry, I believe that is the forward from Heidel, I want to say.
So, you got into the forwards and we're just at the defenders?
Then JD, he's listed as a defender. Yes, I must talk about
okay. But tell us about avoid the players them where you know on the defenders. All right, just do your thing. No, do your thing because that's what them do. Them just do foolishness and then make you say nothing. So do your thing.
Yeah, yeah. I am looking at the list on the screen and I'm seeing the names and I'm going through. So sorry, I never even hear what you're saying. If I know them, is not a defender. Yeah, so sorry about that. But yeah, that's it. That's all the defenders there. So, Pastor, you have anything to add?
I don't think Pastor have anything to add, Jason. So we can move to midfielders.
Add this. I'm going to add this. Jason, the reason we can say we're not sure if this player is really a defender is because of the inadequacy, the mediocrity of the communication or press department of the JFF as it relates to proper information relating to individual players. So the coach may have very well seen that these players have very good defensive IQ, and since he wants to have ball playing defenders, or ball playing players across all positions. He can integrate them there. So the profile of the player, when you present the player's name, would have them being multifaceted. So their major position is X and followed by strong outputs in 2 or 3 other positions. Yes. So I will add that along with the fact that I remember the player with from the controversy with the under 17, because that was a big thing. The defender that was cut. I was
Yes, but he
interjecting
might. What Mr. Devon said, it's not the final squad, so maybe he doesn't even make the team again. So let me not build up this story to be sad again, Pastor. All right, yes, and Pastor, I'm starting to believe Travis, that you just pick negative points, because you feel like your character shine.
No.
Let me speak, and they can argue it after. You just want to bully me. I can be not saying the correct thing, but it's what I interpreted. So let me speak, big man. You can't think for me of my brain. Sure. Anyways, yes, Pastor. So sometimes you can just leave certain damn thing, man. We have a show for on your Pastor. And if you take on all of the challenges, then we can't have the show, because you're just gonna start the show for 10 minutes to tell me about what Jason just said. I don't want you about the Pastor. You still are stuck, You that's why you can't be a big YouTuber. Because you're all about yourself and not the people. And information will come from pass. And pass them follow you with don't pass defenders. A midfielder I take a stop before 2 hours. You know what, Pastor, do it. Do it, Pastor. Since you know best.
We're going to go to the midfielders. No, we're going to go to the midfielders.
We're gonna prove to him today who he is. Do it. Continue talking, Pastor.
Okay.
We're gonna prove to you who he is, and see if in 2 hours we still depend the defender talk about the problem of the JFF, because Jamaica Guna was right. You always accost the JFF. when I maybe
as a pastor, you cannot sweep sinfulness under the carpet. It will become demonic.
Oh my God.
So you deal with it, and then you move on.
Okay, Pastor, but Jason just deal with it. He dealt with it, Pastor. So you not have to dealt with it 2 times. So that means, Jason, you're not good in dealing with things. Because Pastor need to come and bury it. He's a certified burial. Yes, Jason is the problem as well.
JD,
because he knows that I never want. If you bury it, so you don't didn't you bury the argument properly, Jason?
I did.
No, Jason.
So why you invite the man?
I didn't know Pastor was going to speak on that. I thought he was going to talk about the players. That's all. I didn't know he was going to go that road. I should have.
Jason, you asked me if I had anything to add, and I said yes.
You see,
Jason. This. I will add. Notice, Jason, I did not talk over any of the points that you so astutely covered, because you did it. So I am just adding what you did not talk about. That's all. But
Pastor, what if the addition was not needed, Pastor? Just asking. We're gonna move on again, guys. But I'm just giving him a fear. I'm gonna read the super chat as soon as well, Mr. United. But Pastor, continue. What if the addition was not needed?
Your primary purpose for this channel is wholesome, truthful information, even when it is not authentic, because you did not come up with it. You're not the birther of it, but truthful, wholesome information.
Yes.
So the addition is needed, even if it is not the favorite thing. It is needed, because once you talk about wholesome, yes, that part, the salt is as important as the sugar in the cake.
Right,
we are going to the midfielders.
All right, thank you very much, Pastor. Let me go through the comments, the super chat. People, oh, Mr. United. This is coming from Mr. United, people. Let me make sure to maximize it so it has not tied my name to it. So a super chat came in, and I'm going to read the super chat, people. All right, yes. So let me just go through the super chat. People, Butler is AF. The man said, winning the Manning Cup means nothing to him. But when Mona won, him a ball and a roll a dirty. Meaning, in translation, he said he never meant nothing. It's a garbage tournament. And then when he won it, it is pretty much the biggest. So it brings certain emotions out of him. So he was rolling in the dirt and getting dirty and crying. That's what he meant by what he said for personnel worldwide. All right, yes. So Mr. That is coming from Mr. United. Nothing from the Imaxit. Because sometimes them man fans beat people very bad. All right?
No comment.
All right.
No comment.
All right. Yes, the midfielders know. Like we passed the super chat. We made sure to enlighten that it's actually from Mr. United and not from Imaxit. All right. Yes. All right. Mr. United, I will not comment on it. All right, yes. And Mr. Pastor Divan Porter says amen. All right, yes. So anyways, the midfielder now, which might not be the midfielders, but let me just read out the names. And Chevan, you have...
No, he has absolved himself. It's not him. But don't beat him.
Well, he's going to get beaten regardless, all right? Yes, you came and tried to take all the credit for all the production that went on the land for making pictures. So a picture came out. That means you need to find a way to segregate yourself. Put Chevan on it when it's you. And tell them to make sure they put the next person's name when it's them. So we can give you credit and take away the credit rightfully. You know? Yes, and give you even more credit when we have something like this came out and it's filled with errors. All right? Yes. I think that is well said, Jason. The best way to give him and the best way to solve the problem, you know? But at this point, I'm still beating him. You know? I don't care if it's not him. Because I can beat him now. He can tell me that it's not him. But when you put the print and the signature on it, then I can't beat you. Because I will see Simon write it, you know? And then I will find Simon and destroy him. You know? You know? Yes. Mines have a team. Okay.
Coach Porter said that Ronaldo Barrett is gonna be a left back and he has all the potential to be a top left back. But that's why he's listed as a defender.
Well, I had said it to you, Jason. You know. All right. So Chevan said Mines have a team. All right, so Chevan, just listen to it. Go with the signature next time, so we can know we can write down that Chevan should not get beaten, and we should defend Chevan. But this one, you're gonna get beaten until it fixed, you know. So we will catch you up on the next stream of not beating you. Christopher Ainsworth, Romarion Thomas, Kobe Thomas, Kyron Orsley, Mackay, Denzel, Mackenzie, Jamani, Bell, Nikai, Gale, and Adrian Reed Jr. Those are the guys that we have for the midfield. Jason, go ahead.
All right, yeah. So the midfielders, you know, for the continuity, good to see Jamani Bell. Good to see Kobe Thomas from the last U20. Try and play a little recently for his club in the same competition that the All Schools team was in. I think they made it to the finals and everything. Christopher Ainsworth, very excited to see him as a player that's been playing for Cavalier for years. I think since he was about 15, he's been playing a lot of minutes in the Premier League, look good in every league. Looks like one of the players that don't drop off when he plays the Caribbean Cup as well. Look dangerous just the same against those teams. So yeah, a player that I think will be one that we should look out for in the future, and I don't think he'll be in Jamaica for that much longer. I think he will get an opportunity overseas. Adrian Reed, another one that keeps coming through in these teams. Lot of time for the player. think he has improved. Some people said that in the Manning Cup he didn't really stamp his class like he could, but I think he's a player that does look good, more than looking bad, and I think he's very smart in terms of his positioning on the pitch and stuff of that nature. So I think he's just an intelligent player, and he will continue to improve. Nicola Gale playing in the Premier League with Portmore, good player. Think he's one that if you're gonna look at what John Wall said about playing in the highest level in Jamaica as a local player, he's somebody that probably does deserve a look in because he is playing in one of the top teams in the Premier League. And then I guess you have to say with like somebody like Omari and Thomas and Denzel McKenzie, those would be like the anomalies he was talking about. So these are players that don't really play with any professional level team in Jamaica, but you can see their potential. Omari and Thomas used to play midfield, but was turned into a winger this year and looked really strong in that position for Mona. And Denzel McKenzie, I think some will say in the latter stages of the tournament didn't really stamp his authority, but throughout the season you could say he was one of the top players in the Manning Cup for sure. So he's a good player as well. So I think the midfield looks pretty good.
So what
I think
about
somebody,
Kyron Horsley? You got any time to watch him? Because I got some
well,
time to watch
Kyron,
him, and he plays not in the position he was listed
yeah,
still,
he's a centre back. He's a centre back, honestly, and he's one that I'm trying to not make the theme of the show about the mistakes because I've said it about 3 times already. And I'm not going to say it every time, but yeah, I was going to get to Kyron. He's a defender, really and truly. Can play right back as well. Even seen him play left back sometimes, and he can play defensive midfield. But I do think he's a defender, and I think he's a player that John Wall would be happy to get him with the setup now
Yes.
because it's something where he's somebody that I would see you want to make a core player in the main one, even in February coming up and also in the summertime. And it's just a good thing that he was able to come with this team because you can really get to see if and how it would mesh with the other players that we do have to use for this February tournament. Because we have seen in the past where sometimes the timing might be off, and the more time he gets to play with these players, the better it will be for him to kind of fit in. So very happy that he was able to come in and join in an extended period.
Okay, all right. So, yes, the player can play multiple positions. He mainly plays from centre back.
Mm-hmm.
He can play both sides. That's a surprising thing. Both
Yeah,
full
right and
sides,
left.
right and left. So
Yeah.
that is very good. But he plays mainly between centre back and defensive central. So the
Mm-hmm.
fluidity, and that's what you want. You want players that understand the game, and I think he will be one of them that Mike can be a leader on the field because he knows so much about the football. So it's
Mm-hmm.
good that he came in, so maybe he can translate to the others that are maybe coming from overseas to mesh with others and maybe translate what the coach is trying to sell on the field. So look out for that player. He listed as a midfielder here, but he's naturally a centre back, and also a player like the Latibodier type player. All right, yes, I think that's a perfect example. The Latibodier type player, but he actually plays more defensive central from an earlier age than Latibodier. That's what I would say. So
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
And then we have Kobe Thomas. Kobe Thomas, he was always the most skilled player Jamaica had in the last U20s and this U20 again. All right, but last time people said that he never had the body. He got game time in the U20s, and every single time he came on, he impressed. But those were spells. You understand me? Those were spells. We have watched him and saw as to how he improves. And I do think you're gonna get a better version of that player coming in this one. I actually think that this could be one of the players them, like how we like the local players them, like the Walter Boys, the Whispers them, and those type of players. Even though he's not the Jamaican directly born player, but because he's so close to from America side, I think he could be the next Walter Boy type player we take on to. But he actually has more cam overseas experience in him. I think because he has the Jamaican style of what the fans adapt to.
Clear.
You know, he
Clear,
has
yeah.
that
Very
style.
clear.
He plays that way over and
A lot
over.
of clear.
Yes. So I
Yeah.
think this could be an next player that might break through the national team. Yes. He's seriously skilled. I have to give him that. You know, maybe we'll find other players that are more Bobby Reed type that gives you everything across the board in a midfield setting that you might have to rely on a little bit more. But he looks like a player that Jamaica, local Jamaica, would love and take on to as their player. You know?
Yeah, I think the growth in him is apparent. Like you see some videos he put out, and his explosiveness and the power in the shot and everything. It's just another level now compared to a couple of years ago. And
Yeah,
I
Malik
thought
said he transformed. Yes, I saw his new look,
yeah,
and yeah,
he's I mean he's not a tall player, but he's very explosive and powerful, you know. So I think people are gonna be surprised at how far he progressed from the last time.
Yes, but you're going to be very much impressed with that player. I think he might be the star player, the one that Jamaica like. Other coaches might not see him as the main player because sometimes it's not what we like, is what people look at as a footballing person. They look at it a little bit different than what you will look at, what we like, the excitement, what we like. But I can tell you that he will pull seats. I like that he has that. And he still plays within the game. He doesn't just go over the top and want to dribble past everybody and all sorts of madness. He plays with the fluidity through the game. He's a very good player. So I am excited to see him, and I think he might be the most with Arsley Mackay I am looking with, because we always know that we struggle with the U20, the defensive department, the defensive midfielder. So I would love to see how they're going to use him. And finally, we could go into a tournament when we truly have a defensive midfielder. The last time we go into under 20, we had the young kid, the Big Nell kid, and then we had my boy from CC. Those are the two genuine defensive central we had in the team. Malachi played good in the first few minutes, but maybe he played too good. They took him off. They took him off because playing good, you don't play. You know, and let me put on the next other guys them and stuff, and he never got more game time. So now we truly have a quality player that knows the role. Let's see if that can unlock some of our other skill sets. Natural Jamaicans, the raw pace and the stuff them. Let's see if we can unlock more of those and we can take advantage of it. But we have some good players on this list. I'm impressed with it. Pastor, don't know if you want to give any input on the midfield side, but you have your gap here, big boss. So let me know.
The two players that I will highlight, since you covered everybody, are pretty much the two that you're talking about, the center back, because I am able to relate to the value of that player. When you're able to play across the back line and CDM, you're going to be probably the loudest person on the field, because you'll be able to keep your teammates within the zones that gives the best protection. So naturally, I'm louder than most people, but because of that kind of an attribute, when you go on the football field, you literally foresee it. It's like it happened before. So I am very excited with our player who is a genuine center back, but has the ability to play in the other positions of defensive merit. And with Thomas showing greater improvement and strengthening from what he showed us before, that should argue well for us as a unit. Because once you get understanding, plus you have quality players, yeah, that is what I will add. I'm excited in that regard.
All right, so Pastor, thank you very much. So we clearly saw some players that I've seen on this list that I am almost confident that they're going to make the next team, unless we have 23 or 20 more players to choose from. You understand me? Malachi Molina, I do believe that he's going to make it. Yes, Pastor.
As it relates to more players, how you had framed the question with the the additions coming in,
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe at this time we will be in a position to stop anybody in terms of those who were expecting their paperwork to work out. However, based on what Wall gave us in the interview, the unit that he has here is predominantly being prepared to deal with the first window. So while we will have, let's say we get miraculously 10 or more players available, I don't think Wall is presently in the mindset where he, despite the quality level of those players, that he would necessarily bring them in for the first window. Maybe the exceptional 3 to 5. But I don't think if miraculously we have a big group of them become available, that he's going to take all of them and do away with what he has been working with for the first window. So just to add that to the conversation, I'm not expecting, like Jason said, more than maybe, you and Jason said, maybe more than maximum 5, if that many, as they become available. And those would be the exceptional, the professional ones that would be coming in for the first window. So most of this team, maybe, I think they're taking 23 to Trinidad, but the tournament you take 20. So maybe the most I'm expecting not to see from this squad is at best 8 out of the 23, the most that I'm not expecting to see. So those 8 would be replaced by 5 of the exceptional ones as they become available.
All right, so I'm not going to even bother go over the other thing that I was actually talking about. Let me just leave it alone. Let me go to the attackers. But guys, we have a lot of overseas players in the team already so far. That's what I was actually saying, you know. Yeah, but Pastor take over my time right here, so I just gave it to him. Guys, we have 200 people in the chat. Please get me to 200 so you can motivate me to come back tomorrow. You know, yeah, I don't do it for the likes, but I like when I see the likes. You know, yes, it shows me that you appreciate the conversation and you appreciate people that actually try to study and bring something to you. You know, something that we're trying to bring back to our culture. That it should be first, not the gun badness and the what you call it again, Pastor, the badness and the mad out.
Dunce
Yes,
badness.
the dunce badness and the
mad out.
Yes. So
Lord have mercy.
support us
Forgive
for
them,
that
Lord.
reason more than anything else. All right, yes. So the attackers, Demarai Harris, Dustin Cohen, Tyreek Scott, and Brian Burkett and Tyrese Goe. All right, yes. They have said that Tyreek Scott is spelled completely different. So I'm going to look for the right spelling because people sent it in. So let me look for it and try to give you. And we're going to dig it up to see where the player plays. All right. Yes. So Jason, go ahead on the forward players. Then what you made of them.
Yeah. So the attackers, the local contingent. I'll start with them. They are local based. Demarai Harris, Phoenix player.
Brian Burkett as well. Mona player.
Yeah, Brian. Well, Brian Burkett is not a Phoenix player, I don't think.
He's not a Brian Burkett. Where he plays, not Mona.
He plays for Dunby Holden.
Dunby
so
Holden,
I don't
okay.
think he's a Phoenix. Yeah,
Dunby Holden. I'm saying the school. What school he plays for?
Oh, he plays for St. George's. He plays for
St. George's. George's, okay, George's. That's what I mixed up. George's, all right.
Okay, yeah. And then Tyrese Go, Dintil, good player, powerful shot, good pass on him, good skill as well. So decent player, more of an attacking midfielder, but could play up front as well. And then Dustin Cohen, I think probably the one that has the most professional minutes under his belt as far as the attackers are concerned. Plays for Veer and also plays for Denby High School. I think he scored a lot of high 20s goals in the Costa Cup this year and everything. Did go to the under 17. Didn't think he really did that great in the under 17, but let's see how he has progressed. And then the player Tariq Scott, FC Dallas player, very, very good talent. Has already represented the USA at under 19 and I think under 18 as well. So I think this is one that Jamaica should be very happy that he has, said he'll come and play, especially for a camp of this nature. to kind of show, I hate to use the word, but show the commitment, right? To come and not only play in the lead up to, not only play the tournament itself, but play the lead up matches as well. That's a very good sign. And I think he's a player that people are going to really like because he has a lot of pace, a lot of power, and he has decent technical ability as well. So, from the little clips that I've seen of him, he's definitely one that we should be happy is coming into the fold at this age.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jason. And Pastor, you have anything to add to it? I'm going to bring up something on the screen because I just saw them send in more information. So I'm going to bring up that, and that's what we're going to close the show with. And maybe tomorrow we will talk on that as well because we're getting information on the senior part, so we will get closer to the time when the games will be played. As to the senior matches that we talked about, the local guys them that everyone wants to hear about. Yes, we are going to pull that up as soon as possible as well. So give me a little time. Yeah, Pastor, go ahead, Bossy. I'm trying to get that additional information up.
As it relates to the front line, Jason mentioned that we have player coming up from under 17. And not only did he go to the under 17, but his exploits in the DaCosta Cup and with Veer, that shows a kind of maturity and continuity in his development. So for me, when you have those information on a player and then you find a player from the diaspora to bring in, you realize the value of performance-based selection and how it aids the team rather than just putting people in places for any other reason than the performance, the quality of the performance that a player would have. I am praying that good sense prevails. And I'm going to transition this into the amount of competitions that the Jamaica football team has for 2024. Any player 18 and above performing in the under 20 competition should value their playing time and position and availability to deepen the pool in the senior teams in both genders.
Sorry.
For this reason, JD, while the product is 2026 World Cup qualification, between now and then, we have a number of games to play. So all of these players now need to value what they are involved in because injuries, drop in form, you excelling will go a long way in whether or not you are on the World Cup stage 2026. And I'm saying that for both locally born and diaspora players. Especially because right now, we have 2 players suspended in the senior ranks. How nice is it that the under 20s go into action as early as February and the senior team goes into action in March? All you have to do, guys, in the front line of the under 18, you already have your papers sort out. Blow the opposition out of the water. There are 2 spaces in the senior national team. right now give the coach headache. I am not supporting this Jamaican thing where they say I'm mad, we are mad out. But make the coach pull out in here like how me did say Nigeria have JD pull out in here.
Okay,
With
okay, Pastor. We have something else on the screen here. But I told you
yes,
that I'm
man,
going
go
to
ahead,
just
go
give you the
ahead.
time
I
to
am
let
not
you
watching.
guys
No, no, no.
speak, all right?
JD, understand this. I am not presently seeing what you put on the screen, so
Oh,
I
okay.
was
Yes, all right.
really, yeah. So just go ahead. Go ahead,
Yes,
I'm through.
okay, no problem. So well, we have went through all of no. Today I'm not fighting with nobody. I just make everybody do them thing, and let them just do them thing. You know, I'm done with fighting with people. You know, I just want to be by myself. You know, yeah. It's a hard thing to do, or a hard thing to get, but yeah, that's what I'm trying to achieve. Anyways, this was sent in. They said domestic base camp for the senior Reggae Boyz will commence on Wednesday at the Captain Maurice Borrell Center of Excellence. All right, Coach Hallgrimsson will be available on to take questions from the media on Wednesday tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. before training. We looking forward for you guys. Yes, I'm done with the unnecessary war with people. You know. Yes, you have a lot of people that try to either I don't know what their intentions are, but they always try to war with me for reasons, and I have left it alone. I've approached 2024 with a difference of no fighting. Yes. But they will always try, you know. They will always try, but I'm just avoiding it, so they can't get what they want because maybe they have their intentions. And must not giving them their intention anything. All right. Yeah. No. But you have to give Pastor his respect. Pastor is a honorable person. Stick to his takes always. We are questioning why players would come from elsewhere like Germany for the U20, but every eligible player who can play for England always turn up, even when starting for big clubs like Liverpool. I think it's different. Those competitions, what you're talking about, you're mixing it up. Most of those U20s, when they're playing, they got the pass to play, and some of them kind of filter into a FIFA note, not necessarily the worldwide FIFA window. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it don't. But they still get the pass. So sometimes you see those players playing for the U20s, and you're saying, oh, they went there and they don't respect Jamaica and all of those stuffs. Nothing like that. They got the actual pass, and FIFA have that in place. So you have to just check it up, read it for yourself, and make your decision. But I know it's easy to look from that side. All right. Yes, so anyways, this is the squad, or the training squad. Yes, let me know how it looks for you. Justin Dunn, Tivoli Garden, Nicholas, Nelson, Dumble Holding, Joshan Anglin, Harbour View, Gart Stewart, Harbour View, Andre Fletcher, Waterhouse, Javine, Brian, Waterhouse, Marlon Martin, Waterhouse, Joel Cunningham, Arnett Garden, Kyle Ming, Cavaliers, Dwayne Hallen, Cavaliers, Shaniel Thomas, Cavaliers, Irvin, Cavaliers, and you have Romeo Guthrie, Mount Pleasant, Sule Makala, Mount Pleasant, Ramon Owell, Mount Pleasant, Shaquan Davis, Mount Pleasant, Kimoni, Bailey, Mount Pleasant. You have Siobhan Walsh, Portmore United, Alex Marshall, Portmore United, Emilio, Portmore United, Stephen Young, Portmore United, Tyrone Williams, Portmore United, and then you have a few reserves. Jason Wright, Mullines FC, Kemar Beckford, Veer United, and Jaheim Thomas, Arnett Gardens. All right, so let me know what you guys say about this list. Is it the right based on the right list based on the current form of the JPL? All right, because remember, you don't have any restrictions here, like age restrictions. It's just straight up, you go there, and if you're good enough and playing in good form, and the coach believes that if it is system, then you will be selected. All right. Martin is Arnett Garden player. Imaxit. Martin is Arnett Garden player. Let me see if I said that wrong. Let me see if it's on the paper. Marlon Martin. Yes, but it says Arnett Gardens. It says Martin Arnett Gardens. All right. Yes. So I don't know if I said the wrong thing. I'm very sorry if I did. Yes. Then I can't beat Simon. I have to beat myself. All right. Yes. All right. Anyways, I don't know who's inside the chat. So anyone wants to take on this, they take it on.
So this team so this is a training camp. Are they playing?
That's what they said, you know. Jason, me start the stream till they say the intention is for both sets of teams will end up playing Trinidad.
Oh, so, okay,
yes. So these they are not going to play them now, but this is the first set they are going to look into. But the end result should be Trinidad. They are going to play in Trinidad as well, because that's what they have said. Yeah.
That's it. All right. So so I mean, I guess football only play at Mount Pleasant and in town. That's the first thing that I noticed.
Why you say that?
Because look at the team, look at the makeup of the team.
So that's what we ask you, Jason. That's what we ask you. You watch the JPL every night. Tell where the damn players then will come off and stop setting seeds. This is not. Jason is not a member of this channel here. He's a member of this channel, but he's not a member of the Imaxit team. He has his own team. So you're gonna put his credit on his docket. Go ahead now, Jason. I should have said that before. Go ahead. I am the peacemaker, people, and it's not 1 month. We only have a couple more days left in this month. Next month, I'm going to come with a positive vibes just the same. I am very nice. I have changed. Yes.
So honestly, the players on the list, I mean, most of them I would agree with. I'm really happy to see the kid, Russell. I think he's a good player from Portmore, the left back. I think Siobhan Walsh is a good striker as well. Good to see Alex Marshall back and playing well in the league as well. There's some players that I like, Kyle Ming, I think he's also a decent player. Shanil Thomas, the guy from Tivoli, Justin Dunn, is playing really well. Nicholas Nelson from Dunby Holding, really, really good. The Harbourview players, I wouldn't say they're really on form right now, so that's a bit surprising that they made it. But yeah, other than that, I like most of the names on there. I don't have an issue with a lot of them. I think most of them are playing well in the league. And again, if this is just a camp, I would love to see like the next set of names with the next camp, because there's definitely other players that could have been on there too.
And you would go with the approach to make sure you can always full a roster of players for all the positions, because people saying that this team has no defender, Topi and Cummins missing. So would you go with that approach? Because I think that they have all other players on it, So and sometimes they don't name all the players them actually there, So I don't know why, because I would have named all of the players them there. But sometimes I saw people in this in the training session that was not listed on the paper. So I expect some of those players that we are talking about will turn up being there. Bradford should be there as well. So Bradford, he's saying that should be on this list. Bradford is the striker, right? The striker winger type player.
He did really well in the competition, the Concacaf competition. Scored a lot of goals for Harbourview. Recently moved to Mount Pleasant. So yeah, he's one that is a bit surprising to not be there, especially since he's been a part of like the local camps before. But yeah, I think other than that's a part of the reason why I see some names on there, because as I said, some of them might not be on the best of form, but there has to be some kind of continuity, because that's who Hallgrimsson has seen already,
Yes.
I understand the Anglins coming back and, some of the other players on there. I can understand it, but I don't agree with it.
Okay, fair enough. But remember, Jason, you have to follow things in its entirety. The coach says that he pretty much almost said the pressure that he came under, to open up the market as to what he was signed for. Remember what he was signed for is to bring Jamaica to the World Cup and also put some things in the pipeline that Jamaica can improve, i.e. data. But remember, these guys wanted him to make sure he improve the players them as well in the country. You understand me? So that makes him has to try and make some data for them. Not making excuse, guys. I'm not working for the JFF. They never paid me any money. Nothing like that. I'm just saying maybe it takes more than one sitting for him to get the data on these players to say, all right, then this player is a 40, this player is a 55, this player is a 60, so we can move on to these players, and then at the end, so it's not going to be based on current form then. It's going to be based on how much players will go through for that period, and then maybe apply a little bit of current form to choose out of the pool. But if you don't make the pool now, that doesn't necessarily means you're not going to make the pool forever. It's just for this little cycle and maybe these set of games coming up. That's what I've gotten from the last time.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna, you know, I understand. I don't agree with it either because, as you said, Anglin and those guys, I'm not the biggest fan of that player. You know, I think that player was one of the first set of players that were very much highly hyped, and I've seen him in so much different competitions, as low as U20 competitions. And he never looked better than the U20s as well. And it was not his teammates making him look bad. He actually makes his teammates look bad in those lower competitions. So I was not impressed as to what he showed me before. So I would have to look elsewhere for defensive centrals based on my experience of that player. I don't rate him as highly as how most rate him. That's just my take. Maybe he will convince me over the next 4 years. But what I've seen for him over the last 1.5 years, I'm not really impressed, to be honest. I don't know if anyone has anything to say on that. But
yeah, I will echo that sentiment. I think that, you know, I've said before on these streams that there's another player in the midfield at Harbour that I think is better. And people cuss me and say the player lazy and all these things. But I keep telling them, he look lazy to you sometimes because he's already in position and don't need to run and burst and do anything. He's there already because he has read the game. And that's my main issue with Anglin. We focus so much on his physical attributes. He can run fast, he can tackle, he can kick hard. But there's other parts of the game that we just disregard. And I think that's why sometimes when we analyze our players, we miss a trick because we miss the part of the game that's the cerebral part of the game. The part that won't show up on the stat sheet, the part that you have to just understand zones and how to defend space and how to defend a player, how to anticipate instead of react. And I think that is what Anglin gets into trouble when he's playing. He's always reacting, not anticipating enough. So, you know, I think we need to look at and analyze our players and not leave out that mental aspect of the game, because I think that's where sometimes we get into trouble. When we're picking our teams and we're picking our favorite players, we leave out that side of the game. And I think that's like really important. That's what makes the great players great when you really look at it, because everybody can run fast. Most of the players that play professionally, they're great athletes. They're great athletes. So what makes the difference is how they think about the game, how they analyze the game, how they move on the field without the ball. You know, and those are the things that I think if Jamaica can improve those things, then we'll level the playing field.
Chevy says, Imaxit, no care which team Jamaica, team/squad Jamaica picks, fans on YouTube want them favorites. And he said, JD, I rate the player. All right, no problem. But we have stated, and the problem is in us, Travis, you're not arguing what we have just said, you know. You said you rate the player. You could just rate the player because you know him just the same. So your actual statement at first is still null and void. You know, due to the fact that you know explain why you rate the player, because you never really contest what we said. You know, you just said you rate the player. So why are you beating other people on YouTube that rates an actual player? You understand me? Jason, let's give his take to a player. I'm not picking up for Jason because I will never ever pick up for Jason. But I am saying the man give his reason. Let's argue the man point, you know, and let the man answer you. Yes, Mr. Travis.
I said it already, Travis. I think Bradford should be there, and I think if we're gonna put a Harbourview midfielder in there, I would always give my vote to Cassim Priestley over Anglin.
All right, so Priestley out there. The team is top heavy: Nelson, Walsh, Brian, Dunn, Thomas, 2 goalkeeper, Davis, Mount Pleasant, and Williams from Portmore. Okay, fair enough. All right, yes. So
Yeah.
hopefully this is just what they're trying to get the information from at the start,
And
and they do get a
JD,
few more camps.
you remember the defender from Portmore as well, Stephen Young. Remember we saw him in the CAC games.
Yes. Very
Yeah, that
very
a
energetic, but
rugged defender. Yes,
yeah, very
rugged.
energetic.
Yeah.
Yes, but obviously, we just talked about not just the energetic part. He had other attributes that you could give respect to. You know, obviously he's still raw, but all of the other players them raw. So it's not like you're picking out of the whole pool from Jamaica. You understand me? So you have to put everything in context, and based on the context, I would agree with you that I think he should get a shout as well. You know, yes, he brought a good vibes, you know, but as I said, we can't talk about vibes, you know, vibes.
And another thing that's surprising, you know, it's I heard the other day that there were 3 players going on trials in a European country.
You heard that? Was it from me?
Yes.
Was it from me?
No, not from
Okay, because I did say it. I did say it.
Oh, you did say it. Okay.
Yes, I made a stream on it and you commented on it. I remembered well. So I guess you're not remembering everything. I'm gonna pull up the facts.
I'm not remembering everything, but that's okay. It was reported that they were going on trial, so I was surprised to see their names on a training camp for what's that? Friday and Saturday. So
trials not take long. Trials not take long. Trials not take long. People see what they want to see.
Oh boy. I don't
you know you come on these streams to try and give trouble. The man them says something, we report it, and we just wait. Alright, yes. You should learn that part, you know? Yeah.
The point I'm making is that all these people that, you know, go around to the various people on YouTube and give them information and all these things. You guys need to just relax some of the times, you know, honestly. And just let these situations happen and we can find it out and we'll report on it when it's because how can they be in a training camp and them gone? Or them, you know, I notice a lot of people in Jamaica can be in 2 places one time, you know.
Yeah, but remember, but Pastor, this is not your cue to come in because you see me tell you about it. Me tell him I go catch him, you know. Me tell him I would have catched him, you know. But anyways, let me just leave my war out of it and just remain composed. All I'm saying is, Mr. Jason, I did reported on the matter and said this is what I've heard, but I've constructed it as if until it happens and we get the facts, I will bring it to you. You understand me? But people have the man that people rate the most, all he does is sell propaganda to people. And then some 1% turn out to be true, and then other 99, no one cares that it was actually false. So I think others just start taking up that same mantra and go with it.
Them say that it work. Okay.
Yes, that's what I think. And that's why you have to. You can report it because I had reported it because people keep forcing it to me, but I reported it directly to what was said, and say I will follow up on it. And I understand you are saying that when people report on it, it's like it's conclusive and everything is okay. But remember, most of these guys, I've always said to you, most of them, they never really like this one Jamaica thing. But remember, it's hard to hide it now. You know, you have to hide it now because everybody, including the coach, the people that's trying to win the JFF in the JFF battle now, they're all seeing say it's a one Jamaica thing. So deep in their subconscious, they still don't want it. So when they get these information out, they're gonna push it over the top to say, you see, because that's what they really wanted. So they're gonna force the information. So you have to understand and you have to just put it out and make people just take the information and register it. And if it doesn't pull off the way they said it, then we report it and then we tell them, bro, just sit down, man, and stop try. You know, because even the other day a man called me, and after I did the video for Hutchinson. And he had
Mm-hmm.
this, why you don't talk about, he posted it under my video. Why you don't talk about Whisper? Whisper will be better than him. You know, so Whisper made the first team in a Chelsea and Hutchinson couldn't make it. And I said, brother, you read. Or you're just making up a fantasy or someone forced that information on you. And based on how fast you jump to that conclusion, more than likely you don't read and you never, it's someone forced that on you. So take a little time, go there, research and see that Hutchinson left Chelsea on his own after the coach said over and over that he wanted him to stay. But he couldn't guarantee him the amount of games that he requires because he has a standard and he has the ability to warrant some say in his own career because he's at that part, proving himself over two top clubs in the world, Chelsea and Arsenal, in the lower Prem 2 and came up and made his debut. So he did everything that a young player should do, and after that, he decided that he's going to take a next road. After taking the road to Ipswich, he started to perform like anyone else in the championship. So he made an actual step up. But because either you like to run behind pillar gangs, making up stories, you don't understand. I just think you need to read more. And obviously, I thought he would have took it disrespectful. And he's saying, damn, man, the way you broke it down just a while ago. And I said, no, not because I broke it down. Please go and read for yourself now and see what I have said. When you interpret it, it's the exact thing. And he called me back after a day and said, okay, you know what you're saying is true. We need to really stop listening to some of these people, you know, when they do talk, you know. Because sometimes the hype just push you off from even researching. So I understand where you're coming from, but you have to understand that this is just Jamaica's culture. I've started the stream and said Whisper should make the first team now because you have 50 million injuries and other people on loan. And him and the next guy got brought up to the first team training. And then you have people moved out of the team going to AFCON and also on minutes restriction. So 2 more forwards went off the list based off not injuries but minutes restriction and also AFCON. So 2 more players gone down to 18 different players. 18. So if you can't make the team at that point, I don't know when you can make a team. So you should even see him on the team, even at the back of the bench. You should be seeing him on the team because they don't have no player. They don't have no player left on the roster. So that's why you would see the 2 players. They wrote it that these 2 guys came up from the U20s. They took these 2 forwards up from the U20s because they don't have any players and it's injured. Just go on Twitter and read for yourself. It's literally there. But because you want to falsely listen to what Mr. Butler said, that he would have made the first team, you want to make him so accurate and so right at the same time, which that's not the case, you know. Because Chelsea proven that he never made the first team like he came in as a first team player. He came in as a player with potential. And if players are not available, they are not afraid to feel anybody on the field. But it's 2 different things. And the guy said he liked how I reason out things. And I'm saying, yes, that is the reason why I have problems with these people every single time. Because I wanted to reason out the thing to get to the reality. But they always want to believe in the fantasy a little bit more. The kid can make the team and play and do something and get into the team. But it still remains that the people that said that he wouldn't have gone into the first team is actually accurate as well. Because if you have 18 injuries or 18 players out and then you make a team, that doesn't mean that you were in the first team. It means that the 18 damn first players were in front of you plus the next 16 that's available. Then you become in it. So you're like the 30th. You understand me? That is not people 18 on you. That is just the actual facts. So the people that was analyzing was correct. And the kid have an opportunity. But let other people speak from wanting to reason out things. So I respect that caller because he never called and bad me up like the other callers them, because once I put out some videos, they just bad me up. Imagine I am putting out a video of Hutchinson. A man called me and bad me up for your next man. That makes no logical sense. I'm saying, damn. You know, it's 2024 and I've changed and I want to reason out things. JD, I will see how the local players are against Trinidad, because there are 4 players from Trinidad playing in the JPL. Trinidad 2 brightest talent are at Mount Pleasant. That is true. The 2 that we had a couple of years ago in U20s, yes. James, I think James and Orville, those are the 2, yeah.
Yeah. And, yeah.
Yeah, so guys, sometimes when you hear people reasoning, stop thinking people bad mind people. They're just more informed than you, and when they heard Mr. Butler and those guys speak, they can just know that it's coming from a fantasy. Not saying what he said cannot happen, but people can research and see that that's not the truth. So you can sign for Chelsea but not a first team player, and both of it can be true. So if the man am researching and not come off with their videos like an over-the-top delusional person, you can't hate them people. That's all. That's what I want for the 2024. People just be civil and listen well. All right? Yes, I don't think majority of the people that reported on this kid, they were hating on him. I think anybody hates him is what he has done for his own self, because he has some characteristics about him that makes people don't like him. You know, like the video that I saw, that will turn a lot of people off him. Several other disrespectful videos that he puts out on people. So you can't bad people up to forcefully like whatever you want. Just let the people ask them and they will reason with you. Yes, so Hutchinson is one of the Jamaica's best sparks at this point, regardless of what people don't like. Alright, yes, and the kid is doing amazing at the next club, trying to come into the Premier League, and Chelsea wants to keep him or wants to cash out on him. At least he has some value to cash out on, and he's doing something on the field, so you can't argue those points. The kid proves all of you guys that you might never know what you're seeing in the qualities. Alright, so just leave the guy alone. Go back and recycle a pillar and work with a pillar. And I'm okay with that. I will not talk about the pillar until the pillar start doing something on the field. All right. So that's the persons that contacted me, and some of them bad me up, and some of them be rational. You know. Yes. But that's for the bad up man them, the pillar man them. Yes. Go ahead, Pastor and Jason. I know I've jumped off, but I try to explain something. How people can perceive things completely different from what the reality is. You know, and false, they give people credit for what they have not done. And those people know exactly how Jamaicans think, so they exploit them in that way. You understand me? Yeah, so that's what I was trying to clear up right there for people. JD, the hypocrites will make every excuse when Whisper don't show up for Jamaica and criticize the UK-born players. Football global, but I've explained that, and I've given the you frame the hypocrites will make all excuses. Okay, so that is the people that still stand out to say that why these guys that can play don't turn up. Okay, I understand. That is fair. That is a fair assessment. But we gave him the excuse because I do believe that Chelsea have 50 million injuries and they don't have any players. So it's a possibility that he could be called on. He was listed in a 24 or 23 players list. So I do think they could call him on him, because 1 or 2 injuries in training, he becomes not just the 3rd string or 4th string, he becomes even the 2nd string in a wing position. You understand me? Because they just don't have anybody else. You get me? So I understand if he can't make this game, you know, but I understand where you're coming from as well, because what you have termed it as, you are correct. You understand me? But we are not here to look at them because we know they never had much sense from day one. You understand me? So let us stay on the side of sense and say that the kid is needed where he's at this point, you know, and might be called on. And we should just watch and support the kid and wish for the best for him. You know, yes. So yeah, go ahead, Pastor. I think it was Pastor's turn because Jason made his points as well. So Pastor, go ahead.
As you had framed the the team when you were putting it out, that the coach would be available for questions at the training camp. So all those persons who would have questions as to players they thought should have been in,
Yes.
over and against players that are, you did point that out, that the coach would be available for questions. So that should cover that. As it relates to the player angling, he reminds me of a player who was not only injured but inadequate at the under 20 team and given the captain's armband to defend his selection to the under 20 team. And he was an abject failure and probably one of the major cause that our under 20 team didn't do as well, because of these same pillowmen who love man and support their hypocritical viewpoints. So I don't have very much time for a player like Anglin, but from the Grimm's interview, Grimm did say that he has seen less than or just about a half of the players available to Jamaica, and he does not have data on the locally born players. So I've said that to alleviate the stress of those who don't see the players that they think should have been in camp, that Grimm is literally trying to develop a database that would inform decisions going forward on some players. So despite we don't think they're good or we don't rate them, he needs to repeat their presence so that there can be data supporting decisions taken. So maybe that is a reason for a player like Anglin to show up and not King. Because since King went to Iceland, there is data on King sufficient for you to make a decision. And I'm just using King as a reference here. I don't know this to be the reason for the decision, him not being there. I'm just using him as a
Pastor, I'm not gonna cut you out. Sherman Scott says, Pastor, JD, Pastor cannot have a YouTuber, cannot have a YouTube channel. He's very one-sided and biased. So that's Sherman Scott telling you that. So I'm saying that I'm turning into a big star. He never knew that. It was not to be on a separate YouTube channel. It's just for you to turn up, you know, because you don't really want a YouTube channel. You know, yeah, so that's what he never knew. But Sherman, I don't think Pastor wanted a YouTube channel. Pastor was here for a while back, and he just turns up and he wants Jamaica to do well. That's what I do get from him. Maybe he's lying to me, based off his, he never told me that directly, but based off his action, maybe he's lying, you know, which he's going to answer and fight with me for no reason, because I never said he told me. I said maybe he's lying with his actions, you know, yes, and maybe he just likes to fight and wants to come here to pick points. So sorry, Pastor, to jump in on your time. Sorry, very, very much sorry, Pastor. Yes, and I've never tried to steal a name there. I tried to give you some credit. You know?
Yeah. Just to clear the air, I have been very fortunate to have formed good relations with people all across the world. When I attended West Indies College, which eventually became Northern Caribbean University, there was a population from 51 different nationalities there. And I am one that pay attention to forming relationships across ethnic groups and nationalities. So had I have any intention of forming a YouTube channel, I have very good friends that were members of the Imagine Cup team from Northern Caribbean University that won the technology competition, competing against people from India, China, all over the world. And Northern Caribbean University has people of that ilk, and they are my very good friends. If I had any intention of becoming a YouTuber in terms of on my own channel, I could access the resources and the capabilities to make me very prominent in that space. However, the team player that I have been for all my life has taught me the value of being content in my strengths and support others with those strengths. I don't need a fan base. I am what I am. I am never one-sided. I have two sides, a back and a big chest, and too big a gut for my intended fitness level. So yes, never one-sided. I'm a full package. As I was saying before I was interrupted, as it relates to the squad that is selected, I don't have much issue with it because of the information that JD did put out regarding the availability of the coach for questions, as well as what I gleaned from his interview and what are his intentions in taking the Jamaica football product to the international level. So congratulations to all the players that are selected. There are some players that Jason mentioned that he would have given place. They might at this time fall in the group that Grim has not had the opportunity to pay attention to, as he did say in the interview. Just about a half, or maybe a little less than a half of the players he has not yet had the time to look at. And again, in the absence of a database with information on players, you are making kiloman decision on any player you select from the locally born group. And so the coach is about getting that database updated where each player will be selected from an informed position. So JD, the squad is what it is, whether top heavy or middle light, is not so big of issue for me because of those intricate details that the coach had shared with us in that interview that he did last.
All right, thank you very much, Pastor. So guys, we have reached a long time and I've not even hit 200 likes. So these videos will stay under 2 hours as usual and not over 2 hours because you have not paid me for my time. All right, and I like to see the 200 plus likes on it, not when it's before the game finish, you know, so you cannot add others on it, you know, but you guys like to like the video after, but it's okay. Tennessee, it's 3 hours of the video. Where are you turning up now, man leaving? All right, yes. So Jeremy Miller said, JD, remember I used to criticize you a lot until I started seeing the facts for myself. Stop listening to people in the JFF, and by doing my own research, I have to come back and yeah, man, it's okay, big boss. And you had said some things that I have to learn on as well, because remember, maybe I was a little bit too dark, you know. So I've improved as a human being. Yes, heard King and Hutchinson on trial. Yes, that was talked on as well. Yes, but we heard from Mr. Media man Jason Guna stated that all people should give the information out. So Jason giving orders to people that's talking on Jamaican works. All right. So don't talk about it until you're sure that it's true, Mr. Omar Fowling, and we will stay to standard. We won't talk about it, until that time comes. Yes. Because if it's true, it will come out. So we are not short of content due to the fact that Jamaica always have content, and lastly, football always play. The actual thing that we signed up for, which is a football channel, football always play. So that's why people ask, why am I always having information? Bruh, because I've made a football channel, and football always play. The players, them are not dead. They are actually fully alive. The problem is because nobody talks about football, so they don't really care. So I will never run out of content. Agree, a whole lot. Knowledge, no, listen to me now. Don't bring up, let me avoid the big head thing in this stream. It's not every streamer can come with the same big head thing. You see, Omzo, Pastor, those are the ones bringing in this take, talking about them. I give reasons and then I try to criticize me at the same time, and I try them I do it disrespectfully and I pretend like them are disrespectful. I say other things for say my head big. It's okay, and everybody have small head. You understand me? Yeah, so
do not bundle me in controversy.
Pastor, you have Pastor next people. If people want to hear what you said, Pastor, you have to try falsely defend yourself. I've heard what you said, Pastor. I know what you said. So people will go there and decide for yourself. People still watching the video, so them will know that you're not saying the truth. You can spin all the narratives you want. What you said, Jason?
No, I was going to say, I'm looking back at the list because you had it on the screen there, and I saw it when I look back at my phone. How come Demarai Phillips not in there?
Jason, you are the local information collector, bro.
No.
What happened to the man? You don't know if the man injured or something, brother?
No, as far as I know, him not injured. That's I could have swear I see him in the last game.
Okay, so if he was no, I never said he was not in. I never said he was injured. I said you should know.
To my knowledge, he's fit right now. So I don't understand how, as a player that normally play with the main team.
But Jason, with the man telling him story, and try to twist the narrative to a different way, The man tell us that he may get pushed to try out a certain player and him give them as much opportunity so he can pass them. That's what the man pretty much saying at the interview, So maybe other man does need the space, Jason. So the question to you, Jason, are you sad that the man, somebody else take the space for the time?
Yeah. Why? Well, you turn it back quickly. But
yes. Are you sad that someone took the space of the individual?
I wouldn't say sad, but for me, if I'm the coach, right, and I am trying to justify inclusion of players. And because people, when Demarai Phillips is on the main squad, everybody says, boy, well, not everybody, but some people say, boy, he's just not at the level, this and that. No, if you're picking a team that is basically his level, so to speak, based on the league players, and then him not on that team, then how do you then justify him being in the main team ever?
Okay, because maybe at the time the queue was so small and those are the only available players. So from both sides, the coach he never had enough time to assess everyone else. So I would say that player went on the team by accident, because remember he came through the little games them, and he added some energy to it. So him and Paris added energy, so by accident, and so sometimes, Jason, I think you listen to the man, but you not understand the man. You need to listen to the interview 5 times, especially when him talk on the relationship, between, that's how the man start the conversation to say, brother, with all of the talent, I think we should have reached further in our development, but because of these stagnant positions that we're in, with none information on the players, I have to rely on Aritam A and Aritam B to tell me who are the ones to start with. And I'm going to start with those guys because that's what I was told. And then I will know where they do line up, So you have to understand, the man have a big pool and the man have the full information as to him know the foreign players them, so him can pick and choose who him want. Obviously, you see people have a kind of bias if we don't have any local players in the team. So him know some of the overseas local guys them, like Liam Bailey and Shamar Nicholson, where him having at the team. Then 2 more spots left for a local man getting it. Then him don't know nothing about the other local man and we actually a play like how you always I say boy Priest leader play better, so why we pick the man here? Him don't know that as yet. Because you have Unseen. I tell people say Harry Tom are the greatest player. Because Unseen a friend with not just using Unseen as an example. You know, maybe exactly what him said too.
Good example.
Yes, so the coach might watch that, or the coach close to somebody with Unseen talk to, and then it might accidentally spill out, and then the coach might think say that's the one we've look at. You know, that's how information goes.
And JD, just to clear up with the chat and everybody on the panel, I was just asking the question, you know. I'm not saying boy I have to be here. I'm just asking. I just realized it's something like when the squad when you
today,
put the squad
Jason, Jason, you should just say things with your B and done, because from today, come on, you're exposing situations. We are listening to it as well, you know. I'm not gonna say the full word.
No, I'll say it with my chest. I don't have to say B. But no, I was really just asking, and you see that's why I asked the question, because I see people like Travis in the chat and somebody else saying, boy, Romeo Guthrie bench him the other day and everything. So yes, he can drop off a farm, but that's why I asked the question, because I know I'm not injured. That's why I asked, and it's just it's a little shocking that a player that always in the team, when we call everybody that we have available, don't make the local version. It's kind of strange. That's all.
So based off your investigation, one second, Pastor, I'm gonna ask, and then I'll bring you in. So based off your investigation, would you not give them more respect? No, the man them come out and tell us, boy, them it's such a tight way to find out how good these ballers really are, and we have to go through those trial and errors, and we have to set up something that when the next coach come in, him not have to go through them foolishness here. You know, so him not have to listen to when nobody say him know or for grade the players them. So based off that, would you not give the coaching team of Hallgrimsson and Wall credit then to figure out that maybe he's not cutting it, or you thought that they took too long to figure out that he's not a player that cuts it?
Well, put it this way: if they were thinking he wasn't a player to cut it, I would have thought they would have stopped putting him in the team in the first place, because that team is a team where, you know, we're playing for points, we're playing for Nations League, we're playing for all these competitions, and he was a part of those teams. So I guess the form drop off must be just incredible for him to not even be able to get in a training squad with all the local contingent, you know. But as I say, it can happen, because them said that him getting bench at Mount Pleasant now by Guthrie, and they put Guthrie in the team. So that means that yes, we can give them some credit, because people saying that him form drop off and the player who took his game is in the list instead of him. So that goes to show, if they don't have the information, whoever gave them the information is at least paying attention.
Yeah, I think they're catching up with the information. That's all I'm saying. And guys, we have used Unseen's name right there, because I know one of his friends will clip it and lost the communication. Yes, I will just use him as a reference, but that's how Unseen talks, you know. He remembers he's a coach, so it's based on his perception. He's going to give his view, you know. Wall should go back where he's from. Travis says. Jero said they took way too long. Yes, because I think Travis is privy to too much information. That's his problem. And he said it's too big. Because a lot of men talk about people head big. Pastor head big. Travis head big. I want to leave a big head man there. Wall head big as well too. So it's always
put back up the picture from the thumbnail now, make people see.
Oh, okay. No, my Wall is bigger than mine, man, and Wall is not a bigger human being than me, and his head is bigger than mine. So obviously it's filled with brains. That is true. But his head is big as well. Yeah, I'm not here to criticize the size of a man's head. You know, I'm just trying to say you guys take too much set on me. You know, when other people right around the vicinity head is equally as big as mine, you know. You are the chief of the big head J. Oh my God, that is just making up stories. All right, I'm saying all head is bigger than mine's, and I never knew his right height, but when I saw him with people that's smaller than me, he's still smaller than them, so I know that I am bigger than him, and his head is bigger than mine's. All right, that's all I'm saying. My head fit my body. All head looks like it's bigger than his body. All right. But anyways, guys, we are not going to turn the show into criticizing a man head. The man come here to help Jamaica, so let me be respectful, you know, and be respectful to me as well, because I'm trying to help Jamaica. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to take you from my job.
I don't know that criticizing the size of JD's head is being disrespectful to JD. However, I have never criticized the size of JD's head. I have cited the use of the size of JD's head by Omzo and company in conversations. I have never criticized the size of JD's head. And that is from one person who is considered to have a big head to everybody else in the world. No, neither have I criticized the size of John Wall's head. I have never measured it against the size of my head or the size of JD's head. So I don't know, as JD knows, if John Wall's head is bigger than mine or if he's correct in saying it is bigger than his. I have never criticized the size of these men's heads.
You see what I'm trying to do, Jason?
No.
I'm trying to show about
No. Jason,
I was just trying to use it to get myself out to show people how they're biased. You are trying to say that, oh, you never go as far as me. Me go and do measurement with other person for calculate the big.
No. Jason's head is not small, and that is not to say Jason's head is big.
Yes, but Jason hides his head with, you know, his head is big. He just hides his head with ear, you know. Yeah, I am honest. I show my eyes.
You see, I'm the only one in the conversation that has hair, so I understand.
What?
You don't want to include me.
Jason.
You know what, let me leave this stream alone. This disrespect the man come and I say him alone of here. You know what, let me finish it. Oh my God.
Jason is being conceited. Jason is being conceited. The same way I have never criticized Jason's head, even though Jason's head is not small, and I am not saying Jason have a big head. I want the world to hear that clearly. No, I have been accused of criticizing people's head when I have never done that. I have made reference to other person's use of the size of person's head in conversations, but personally never criticized the size of anyone's head, nor have I compared to determine whose head is bigger than whose. I just want that to be out there in the public space. I have been a very fair person in my conversations, and I stay away from personal attacks on people's characters.
All right, thank you very much, Pastor. Thank you very much. All right, I'm very sorry, Mr. Hall, to say that your head your head might be bigger than mine. All right, so and very sorry to say Jason's head might be big. You know, yes, it's okay. I will take all the beating of being a big head. You know? It's okay.
You don't need to take
no.
Any beating.
I said I'm very sorry, Pastor.
Maybe you don't need to be sorry. That's what I'm saying. In the space of communication, truth matters. Justice matters. You don't have to be sorry. That's all I'm saying. The reality is some persons have critically analyzed the size, shape, and whether full or emptiness of person's head. People have gone internationally and done that.
Okay.
So don't be sorry if you are in that group or not in that group. You don't need to be sorry. This is something that takes place across the world.
Pastor, so I can't talk. So you talk and they answer my talking for you. This makes sense. You know, I can't say nothing. I said I'm sorry. Pastor, leave me alone, all right? Make this stream, after this stream, next stream, you just come with your book to talk about what you want to talk about, and leave me alone, all right? May I beg you? Me can talk. Let me can talk. Don't interrupt my talking. You have your space for yourself. All right, yes, you have
There
your
are,
space.
there are,
Jason has
there
his
are two
space. You
sets.
want to take my space, Jason's space, and your space. You know what, people? We're just going to introduce the show every day and just left Pastor. And him talk for me, you, and himself.
Uh, I love to talk, but I prefer a
No,
conversation
no,
rather than
you
just
you don't like
listen to my
conversation, Pastor. You
voice.
don't like conversation. You like to just
That is
make
not
somebody
true.
talk,
That
make some
and
Pastor.
the comment is going to light up and tell you that you're not being truthful with that
Pastor,
statement. That
people,
statement is false.
guys, you're here for 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours now. You think that I'm wrong? Just put a yes or a no. If I see strong no's, I will never accuse Pastor again. Because it's around 17 times in the same damn show. I am trying to make a point and Pastor take over my point and go back to his point. So I want to see people say, I just press the yes. Yes means I am correct and no means I'm not correct. Pastor takes over all persons segments, right? Yes or no, guys? That's the last question I'm going to ask. I am not fighting Owen, alright? Triple E says no, Pastor don't take over anybody's space, so we get one no. So that means Pastor is accurate. I think he misunderstood what I was actually saying. He's gonna change it soon. Just watch. Okay, Ernest says yes, are true. Oh, Triple E says I'm mistaken. Me not tell you? Because it can't be real. So the show is into distraction. All right. Thank you very much, Mario Russell. All right. So, yes. Oliver, Ashley says no, but everybody has said yes. Leon Mitchell says yes. All right. Everybody has said yes, Pastor. So, people interpret. All right. You know what? He's going to try and explain himself. Pastor, you understand everything. You cannot leave people to think what they want to think, you know. All right.
I am not explaining anything. I am going to put your reference to the court of law. Triple E, you use.
No, on a triple E, everybody E. I said the same thing.
No. Your first reference is that after the truth find its way out, Triple E are going to change him out. And a Triple E I go use as reference in a conversation as it relates to
Pastor. Everyone else said the same, Pastor. So stop trying to lament on the one person.
Oliver actually said no, but everybody else said
Oliver Ashley, I'm friend.
I don't know that name. If the person is my friend, I don't know that name. So don't try to tell no lies.
Yes, it has to be Pastor's friend to not come to the same conclusion like everybody else because it is the truth. Anyways, let me big up Simon Preston. Hope all is well. I was bunning you out just a while ago. What was I bunning Simon Preston about?
Simon.
Yes.
Want to know why the player name never right and want to know the position them, how them, you know, like that was really what we were arguing about. Other than that, it's
Simon.
Nice. I can read the names, but come on, we can put the right names on there, Simon, man. Especially if you had anything to do with it, Simon.
Jason, you don't know if you have anything to do with it. Let me still hold the.
I said if he has anything to do with it, I am very surprised.
You kind of just say it in a way where you kind of give him a leeway. You never say it the same way, or you just say it, you know. I mean, nah, give him a leeway. You know, me not look no war.
Your problem, you're too much of a psychiatrist, you know. Because even how people say things, you know, you make even if I say a certain word, you say it different this time.
No, I just the one you give no way out, you know, cause we don't know if I him do it. That's all I try to say, you know. But you know what? I true you Jason. Me say me not go look no war, so me leave it alone. Simon said, JD, it is time to unite as a nation. Please, no war. 2024 is the year to unite as Jamaicans. But Simon, we were trying to unite, but we have to call out the pastor because the pastor always beat people. And a button in people kind of take over people conversation. So because we want to have civil and unite situations, Pastor, let me finish. You see, the same thing you talk about, Jason. I can't finish my statement here.
JD, I'm taking you to a higher level of communication
You're
that
taking
you
me to
are
a higher level of
resisting.
communication.
I am
Pastor, I
no,
just
hold on.
want to say
You
what
are
I want to
resisting.
say, Pastor. It has not, me no want
JD,
to hear about the level of
you're
communication.
resisting.
So, Pastor, just give me the chip later, make me upgrade myself. All right? But please, make me talk. Allow me, make me talk. All right? Yes. God, that guy is.
JD,
Oh,
JD,
Jason,
I
why
learned
you can't just tell the man the truth, brother?
I learned in communication studies with Dr. Herman Bennett, who was the late Dr. Herman Bennett,
Yeah, but
who
Pastor,
was
I was
one of
finishing
the
my Pastor. I was
communication
answering.
specialists.
You know what? Oh, but I can't mute this damn person. You know. You know what? All along, I figure, but just the man stressed me out. Till me never know him. Me can actually mute him. You know. I can mute him. You understand me? Yes. So you see, if me talk and me can't talk, me I gotta mute him. All right, yes, because we deal with respect here and try to unite. You understand me? But past, oh God, man. All right, oh God. Hold on. I saw Oliver Ashley says controversy sells, JD. So so that means you're actually, you know the right thing, but you just chose pastor because you want to sell it. You see, pastor, even the people with claim to see them believe in you are sell you out. You see it? So you never win, pastor, you lose. All right?
I am not in this to win or lose. Politics. That is all of what you just said is pure politics.
All right. So
This is not a competition.
hold on, Pastor. Hold on, Pastor. We have come to the end of the show, so I'm going to give Pastor his time and JC's time, and then tomorrow we return because the video never reached 200 likes, you know, and you can't tell me that the video didn't have 200 people, so it should not be on 200 likes. We are in the morning, and we have already done almost 1,600 views on the video, so 200 likes was more than achievable. So don't tell me any foolishness, because we do the most numbers around here. So 200 likes are me now come back. No, man, Pastor is Jamaican. Okay. All right, so I will give the floor to Pastor. Because the one Jason never support fighting the pastor, so he can't get first place. You have to give the pastor, then Jason come on after. You know, yes. So go ahead, pastor. Say final speech. Your final speech, pastor. The final speech, and then we can make Jason come in.
As it relates to Simon's statement of 2024 is for uniting and peacemaking, I am in full agreement. But, however, because of, and I'm putting in all of the conjunctions, Simon, since I was the one that categorically stated my frustration with the normalization of mediocrity as it relates to the JFF press office or communications department, Simon, I hold you in high esteem. Since your alignment, it becomes your responsibility to upgrade it. I am tired of this malpractice as it relates to communications from the JFF. In respect or intimately involving the list of players put out. I see no reason we cannot get the list at the internationally accepted standard, where the players' names are properly spelt, and since we know that they all have legal documentation, we can get it from their birth papers. So there's no excuse. Where the basic club or institution that the players represent is attached to the list, and the position or positions of the player's capability be also attached. Simon, as Jason said, he would be very surprised. No, I am appalled, disappointed. And I am saying this peacefully in respect of us needing to unite this year. I will never be united with mediocrity and failure to achieve the very best of us. That done with that issue. People, I find it an insult when this channel or any channel like it
Why do one Jason in the background I laugh like he's a
program puts out a program of not just entertainment but information, credible information, truthful information that incorporates not just the actual football played, but the footballers who play and a holistic human condition. And we don't get 200 likes after 1.5 hours, much more when we gone into 3 hours. Come on, people. Even if you do not like the truth, you must support the truth because the truth is the truth. So help us God. So come on. If we get to 1.5 hours on any program that is giving you truthful information, the least you can do when hundreds of people watch the program. So why you don't press the like button?
But
Jamaica's biggest problem continues to be bad mind. We don't need to stop it.
Oh God.
JD,
All right, boss. All right.
I have paused. No, I have paused because the communication skill that I was teaching you is that you're not supposed to continue to speak while I'm interrupting. So whilst you're interrupting now, I'm pausing so you can speak.
I'm muting this ass, you know. That's enough now of this pastor. Jason, go ahead. Well, all right. So Simon never took it anyway. Simon says, "I admire you. Your composure, Mr. Blake. Well done. All right. So I guess Simon likes Mr. Blake. All right." All right, yes. And Simon, mind that you make the errors, you know, because in that just small thing here, you still missed a word, a letter, you know. So maybe it's you, you know, Simon. Who should be blamed, Simon, of making the errors? Is it you or is it Chevan? Because Chevan come here to take him credit. So who should be getting beaten? Simon, tell with the truth, Simon. Yes.
It could also be the press officer there.
The press officer? No, we don't know about him again. We're done with him, you know.
Oh, we're done with him. All right.
Yes. Him can't get the blame anymore. And the YouTuber them have to get the blames. Because of them I get all of the credit. So the YouTuber them have to get the blames. So yes, we have to blame Chevan our Reggae Boyz commentary. You know, because we give them a lot of credit. So we need to beat them soon. Very soon. Go ahead, Jason. Go ahead, because I tell you, I don't know why you're in the background laughing when Pastor talk. You give the man a lean way, like you want him to do them something. You know, you like them foolishness from him. You know, merci man. Yeah, tell me no, but your son not saying no. It's saying yes.
But yeah, no, I think overall good stream. I thought everybody got some information, like the video as Pastor said, do better than that. But yeah, I think, you know, based on the whole like positions of the players and the names and stuff, I think that's just something. I know maybe that's just a small thing, and some people will say, you know, I see people say we're just hating on JFF and things like that. But you know, hate would be like if the list was perfect and then I come out and tell you that you made errors when there are none. You know, I consider this like, you know, if you want something to be better, there's no point seeing it wrong and not saying something about it.
Yes.
You know, because how would people improve? But I think that's a part of, you know, this wider thing we have in Jamaica where, you know, let's just brush the bad stuff under the rug and not discuss it so we can fix it. You know, like, I don't think that will get us anywhere. And it doesn't mean if I'm bringing this up that I hate you or you know, I would rather not bring this up and just talk about the players. But we have to remember, you know, we don't know how players will take this, like in terms of like something that we might say as simple as the name being wrong or the letters being wrong in the name. You know, you don't know how the player themselves take these things. They might look at it like, yo, you can't even, you know, like, you know, you only get a few things in life that are like for you, and one of them is your name. So I
Okay.
really
Well
think you
said.
should respect that and get that right. You know, that's all I would say on that. Other than that, I just want to say kudos to everybody involved with setting up the squad, because again, I was surprised pleasantly to see so many players, you know, leaving their obligations with their academies and clubs and whatever the case was to come to a preliminary camp for the U20. I think that's a step in the right direction,
Mm-hmm.
and long may that continue. So, Pastor, that is an example of how you can do both things in one final comment.
All right, all right. So Jason said he makes his point very short, and I'm not going. I'm going to mute Pastor because he wants to say something again. You know, and that's what Jason does. He knows that the man not going to stop, and just invited him to continue. And he said he wanted the show to stop. I'm learning about these guys, you know. I'm learning. It's okay. So, anyways, people, thanks very much. We have gone, what, 3 hours, 40 minutes? Amazing. All right. It was a good one. We talked on potential players coming in to prove that the narrative of the train might slow down soon, and we can't rely on overseas persons. We saw in the U20s overseas persons coming in again, and then you have young players playing at high level, and they're 18. So you know, so that little train that we talked about, it's proven over the time that we can rely on it. And we have gone through 2 listing: the local listing for the senior team and also the mixed listing for the under 20s. Both teams should be going on to play Trinidad and Tobago in the future. We had gotten the dates for the U20s, because the competition comes at the point of the 20 something of February to March. All right, but we have not gotten the senior one, but yet still they're still trying camps. So that shows me that a lot of things have actually improved. All right, because they're just doing more things. They are just doing more things, period. All right, and we got to respect that, even if we saw errors here and there. But we are not gonna hide it. We are gonna try to improve it, just as what Jason says, because that's how the rest of the world works, and that's how life works. We should not just cover it up because it's a mistake and we like the person and they are already doing something better. We should try to push them to the highest level. You understand me? Yeah, man. So thanks it again, all of the persons. When you leave, please hit the like button on your way out. I think we are closer to the 200. We respect that, all right? And we are grateful. So bye-bye. See you in the next one. Tomorrow we will have a lot more information. Players playing and all of those things, all right? So we can give you some more information, all right? Big up.